Our shit. Did not know I was hot mic there.
So I hit the button as you.
Welcome to this week's episode of the Politically Correcting Podcast with me, the Jose Pio, along my co-host who is always late, Lavelle Lewis. He'll greet you guys when he gets here, and Austin on the ones and twos.
Hello.
And we are your weekly dose of common sense and your girl's favorite threesome.
Oh.
This week, we have our illustrious guest, my friend, Todd D-Wind. I'm not quite sure if you pronounce it like that, but I'm going to go ahead and pronounce it like that. A fellow Charlatarian that he's along the circuit. I think you might see him out in Charlotte more than you might see me. Maybe. But if you see us hanging out, trust me, you want to leave us alone. We're having a good time. I appreciate you coming on, brother. Absolutely. Let's toast to our ability to share a drink with friends, have open and honest dialogue, and always strive to walk away still being friends. Salute.
Hi.
Yes. Let's start the podcast off right with our video of the week. Get ready for this one. This is going to be nuts.
The first trans woman to have a successful uterus transplant, ovaries and eggs included. And I want to be the first trans woman to have an abortion.
What's up?
Want to give your greeting to the world?
Oh, and I saw this too.
Yeah, he sent it to me.
I sent it to
Oh,
you.
okay.
You can go ahead and play it.
All right, you're gonna keep going. Yeah.
The first trans person that wants to have a
I will let a
uterus
doctor
transplant.
who has successfully transplanted a uterine complex before cut the organs out of a willing, healthy, transmasculine donor, place them in my body. I will devote myself, heart and soul, to their aftercare. I will
I've
have
seen this too.
as much gay sex as it takes with as many trans women as it takes, and let the transphobes and homophobes scratch their heads wondering what to make of it. And I want to be the first trans woman to have an abortion.
It's just mental illness, man.
I really hope that satire, I really want to believe that there's no one that crazy who would ever believe that they can have a uterus transplant with the fallopian tubes and the eggs, and then have sex with as many. What did that them said?
They said gay sex.
They said gay sex with trans women.
So
men.
Yeah.
To inseminate their eggs that they won't produce, but they'll have.
So it's gay sex because this person is going to be a trans woman, and the other people are going to be trans women. So it's going to be in their view lesbian sex, but that's not. But there's going to be this person's uterus and the other trans women's penises.
Peni.
Thank you.
Peni for plural.
Right. And that's the logistics of this hypothetical.
Austin being our resident liberal here. Does that make sense to you?
Bro.
I mean, it's nonsense.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're not that far.
No.
All right, cool.
Only to have an abortion.
Only to have an abortion, right?
Look, I'm probably I don't know the guest, but I'm probably the most pro-choice person here. And that's ludicrous. That's insane.
That's insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Transmasculine, bro.
Transmasculine.
What is a transmasculine? That was a new one for me.
I have no idea, dude. I'm so lost. I was so lost. You sent it to me earlier today. I had a whole different video of the week, and he sent me that. And I'm like, oh, this beats it. I had to go find the original.
From context, the transmasculine would be the person giving up their uterus. So that's presumably someone going from a female to a male. That's just from the context of this video. That's what I
appreciate you making sense. Yeah, at least a little bit for us.
I'll try to listen to you.
Well, Austin, were you familiar with transmasculine? Have you heard that before?
I have never heard that term
that
before.
That one just stuck.
I didn't know that was a thing. You're either I feel like you're either masculine or you're not. Like it is premeditated murder. Thank you, Debbie. That's really good.
Kill yourself.
Yeah, jeez. It's pretty insane where we've gotten to where that can't be serious. I hope that's not serious. So if anyone can let me know that was really just, satire, that'd be really amazing, because I really don't want to believe the world has gone that far. That's what I want to believe that. But
you know what? I'll say this. I think either that's satire, or this person's just so crazy. That's the reason why. That's how you found this video. Is that this is a crazy. So this is made the rounds because this is an outlier. This is so out of left field that that's news. That we're talking about it.
Right.
So it's not common. If it was common, we wouldn't have found it.
Well, I mean, if it bleeds, it leads, right? So we're not going to sit here and talk about the common. Well, we do talk about the common stuff here because we want to show people that it's okay to have the conversations about things and disagree, agree, have different points of view on it, and still be able to, be friends afterwards and not freaking want to kill each other afterwards. But that person right there, I don't know. They might deserve to die. If they're being serious, I feel as though, as serious as they are about wanting to create life and just to kill it, at what point are we not okay with just killing life?
The worst part of this is there's no control over who sees this, right? So you could have a young, adolescent that is probably in a corner of their house with a cell phone, and this guy comes on, and they can probably, familiarize themselves with this guy. They'll see the flag, they'll see this, they're like, oh my gosh, he's speaking my language.
It's okay for the teacher.
Right,
it's okay for their teacher to talk to them about it. Why isn't it okay for them to watch
it?
Right.
They'll catch it. It'll be on TikTok.
And to pledge allegiance to a flag instead of the American flag.
Yeah, man. It's crazy.
Speaking of crazy, a couple weeks ago, I was asked by a local entity on Clinton Avenue. It was literally probably 2 days after the mass shooting on Clinton Avenue. I was asked for my presence to walk with them along Clinton Avenue with RPD, because RPD is constantly trying to build relationships in the community. And there's just a lot of people who on city council who don't want to do that. They don't want to do the actual groundwork with RPD to walk with them and to introduce each other, say hi, shake hands, let them know that police officers are regular human beings. Politicians are regular human beings, that we're not better than, greater than, we're not any level above anyone. We just want to create a proper, safe environment for their families, for them to be able to shop, to get food. We some of the best restaurants on Clinton. I did not realize there's not a single bar on Clinton. Not a single one.
No.
Not a single one, which was crazy. But one of the police officers that we were walking with, big ass white dude, probably as big as you, and a little bit taller than me. And he was actually, his dad was a police officer in that area, and he met his mom in that area at a local bar on Clinton. And, they procreated, and he became a police officer, and now he's serving on Clinton. So he's sitting there the people hate me, but I'm just here to serve. I'm here to protect. And another officer that walked with us, his last name is Maldonado. He's very well known in the community over there. Very well known, Latino. He's all before. Yeah, great guy, super great guy. And so we're walking, just meeting people, saying hi. It's not we didn't call it news or anything like that. It was really just a community effort to have an outreach and build that relationships. Well, the Father Tracy Advocacy Center was having a food drive. They were feeding the people on the streets, right? So we ended up walking by, and one of the people who was with us was a landlord. And the landlord's like, hey, let's stop in here. They're doing a food drive. They're, doing their outreach to the community. Let's team up with them, have a nice, conversation. As soon as we walked in, the person running the place, not going to name any names, turned around and literally yelled at us to get the hell out of there. It's we do not want your presence here at all. Wow. Speaking to RPD. We don't want your presence here. We don't need you guys here. Turn around, please get out of here. We're trying to, help the community. For a second, I looked at her and I was like, how are you? What we just went through it had nothing to do with the Puerto Rican festival, but during the Puerto Rican festival, with the nonsense that was happening, with the idiots that freaking take over Clinton Avenue, with the complete jerks that were shooting up the streets. And you're going to turn around and tell us that the people in there don't want police presence at all. And at the same, like out the side of their mouth say the police need to build relationships in the community. So they posted, I'll read it to you. You got the snapshot there. I'll read it to everyone out there who's listening in. The Father Tracy Advocacy Center provides services to the North Clinton Avenue community, including members who are homeless and struggling with addiction. In order for us to respect the dignity and privacy of our community members, we cannot allow unannounced visits from anyone. This includes elected officials or law enforcement officers. Recently, several individuals stopped into an event believing it was an open house. This event was solely for our clients and was not open to the public. The uninvited individuals were politicians escorted by police. They were told to leave. Contrary to comments on social media, profanity was not used in making this request. Trust me, it was. We have both a legal and moral obligation to protect the confidentiality of the clients we serve. The Father Tracy Advocacy Center is not a place for photo opportunities or curious onlookers. We serve real people who are often recovering from trauma. We serve the existing community with love, dignity, and respect. Supporters of the Father Tracy Advocacy Center are encouraged to make an appointment for a visit to learn about our services and how to be a partner and advocate. Do you think that kind of serves to want to be a partner advocate if you yourself are a proponent of building police relationships with the community, for getting politicians out on the streets? Like it was this. I didn't take a single picture until we were walking past this vehicle that was filled with kids. I should have sent it to you, damn it. Filled with kids, 3 kids and a mother in the front seat. And the kids like, yeah, hey, they were excited about the police officer walking by, and police officers always carry stickers to give out. And so he's handing out stickers to these kids, and their hands are out the window and everything like that. I asked the mom, I said, is it okay if I take a picture? Because this is a good moment to show that the community really does want police presence on the streets, because they're tired of the nonsense. They don't want to raise their kids on a street where they're getting shot up every freaking day, stabbed every freaking day. They just want to raise their kids in a good environment. And that was literally the only picture I took the entire time, was because I could not let that picture go by without showcasing that not everyone thinks this way right here. But what goes on in your mind right now, hearing my story, which I have no reason to lie. There's not a single picture of me on Clinton Avenue, I don't think, because I wasn't there for a photo op. That's not my district. I was asked to be there because they knew that I support RPD. They knew how much work that I've done with RPD in my district to build the relationships, and they wanted that same thing in their district and on their street. And they said, can you please come here and also do the same thing that you did over there? And that's what I was there for. I wasn't there for no photo op. And I certainly wasn't there to, impact these clients that they're serving and be an onlooker for photo opportunity. It was so ridiculous. But to see an advocacy center, a nonprofit, sit there and kick the landlord out, kick RPD out, kick the people who are there to represent the people out, and say, we don't want your presence here. What does that say to where we are as a society when the people who are there to try and help are not wanted?
I would say that would have been a tough one a couple years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this is kind of easy. I think now it's pretty obvious that whatever has been put out there within the mainstream from all levels, even all the way down to the local level, and going back to what happened with the BLM riots, it seems as though there's like this ego-driven personality within just folks who want to dismiss the people who are getting paid by your tax dollars to actually serve and protect. That's within. There's nothing wrong with the word serve and protect. So I'm just confused as to what are they really doing within this organization. You're still going to get public funding. You are still a public, I would assume, are they public funded?
Yeah. So
you are.
I mean, it's a nonprofit, should I say?
Okay. Either way, the money is coming from somewhere. Now the question is, where's the money coming from? If it's not coming from the city of Rochester or other places, I'm pretty sure there's some grants around there that they received to just up and run and take resources from the community.
They have a really good spot. It's right next to St. Michael's, and it's right across the street from the the La Marqueta, the International Plaza there. I forgot to say the second part of that was after we got kicked out, we walked outside and there were people who were, shaking our hand and everything. And this freaking guy, he's in this organization that I know, and I already knew he was anti-police. Like, I know he's anti-police. He's one of those guys that if you saw him in real life, you'd be like, oh, that guy's anti-police. You can tell. He comes walking up with his chest all puffed up. He comes walking towards us. He's like, what's this all about? And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, what are you guys doing here? And I was like, we're literally trying to build community relationships with our RPD. And he, with a straight face, says, well, it'd be a lot easier if they weren't walking around with badges and guns. And I looked at him and I said, Mike, I snickered a little bit at him. I go, all right, dude. And he goes, oh, it's a lot easier for you to smile and laugh because you're a politician. I'm like, that doesn't even make sense, dude. Have a good day. I just turned around and like the person that came up behind him was a female that I knew from Cameron Ministries. And she comes like, hey, we were there at the Edgar event. She's like, yeah, that was my boy, blah, blah. I'm like, no, that's really cool that you're doing all this. This is really awesome. She's like, no, I appreciate that. Like a genuine conversation after that conversation.
Yeah. And
so when I turned to the police and I said, I apologize for what you just had to go through because, that's not something I would want for you to have to deal with. And he goes, if they call 911, I'm still going to show up and I'm still going to protect. I'm still going to serve. And that's the best answer you could have ever given. Yeah. Because no matter what, you can hate them all you want. But when you call 911 because your people are getting stabbed or shot, they're still going to show up.
And that dude will be the first person to call.
He will be the first one because trust me, he is not stepping up and serving, protecting anybody.
If something happens to that dude, he doesn't know anything other than I'm calling 911.
Yeah, you so tough to the kill boys. Get your shit.
Yeah. I'm not sure he owned a vehicle. I think he rode a bike.
Oh man, it's even better.
But that's my story on Clinton Avenue. Let's get into what's happening locally with the county.
Before you go, because I you were.
Oh, go ahead. I still got something to add to that too. Go ahead.
You were deep with people that look like you. Mm-hmm. And come from that same.
I hate the word "look like you," but yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
So you're with fellow Puerto Rican, Hispanic individuals, and they're rejecting the people who grew up in that community. Like,
yep.
How do they get away with that? Because I'm trying to figure out. My main question will be like, where are you from? Where did you come from? Where did you grow up?
That person did not grow up in Rochester.
Oh,
they are a transplant from like Brooklyn or Bronx or something like that.
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah. They are not from Rochester, but they kicked out the three Latinos, myself, Mercedes Vasquez Simmons, who's a county legislator, and Officer Maldonado.
I would love to know where they get their money.
Not only them, but we had Roberto or man, it's the tax place. Good Lord. Burgos, sorry. Jeez. Al Burgos and Robert Burgos. They were talking about 5 Latinos who were there. One of them owns the entire building. One of them freaking has been, or all the rest of us have all been involved in that area for quite some time. Either grew up there, were raised there. My family still lives there. My grandma still lives there. My uncle still lives there. Like the same house that I went to growing up all the time, picking pears out of the tree on Conkey. One street over. This is where I grew up. This is my area. I could still find people that will still say what's up to me because they remember me, knowing that that's not like I was able to escape that. My parents took me away from that and said, we're gonna raise you in a different way, opposite of what the other men in my family were raised. My father-in-law has a business on Clinton. Like, we are deep in the area, and yet they still will quickly turn their backs on you simply because their mentality is so skewed by the far left. And again, the question that Jordan Peterson is constantly asking, how far can the far left go? How far is too far? This is one of the areas in which it's too far. The people who grew up there are being shunned by someone who was not even raised there, did not grow up in Rochester, is not from Rochester, like just got there, 10 years ago? The other side to it, I want to end it on a positive. The Latino Youth Development and Resource Center. It is an organization, nonprofit organization that Mercedes Vasquez Simmons started. If you're looking to help on Clinton, if you have any funds to donate, if you have any time to donate so that you can be a volunteer, please reach out to them. They got a Facebook page, again, the Latino Youth Development and Resource Center. please, they are looking for money right now because they're expanding quickly, because there's a lot of youths out there who are trying to get help and get an escape from the nonsense that's happening on Clinton, on Conkey, on freaking all the streets in the area. They're looking for help. And we have nonprofit organizations out there who are pushing this agenda, who are trying to tell these kids that we should kick out police because we don't want their presence. And at the same time, there are people who actually lived there their entire lives who are sitting there saying that's insane. So if you're looking for anywhere to donate, $5, $10, $20, anything helps. Latino Youth Development and Resource Center. Look for them on Facebook. Reach out to Mercedes Vasquez Simmons. Let them know, hey, I've got some extra money. I just want to donate. I got some extra time. I want to be there for these kids. Please do something, because we need the good organizations doing the good work on Clinton to get raised up and really be pushed up to be that voice that these other organizations are not pushing for. Because there's a lot of far left organizations who are being raised up in the Latino community who are calling themselves Latinx. They're pushing this Latinx agenda on these kids, which is ridiculous. And I've told them to their face that's ridiculous. And I said, that's the stupidest thing I ever heard. Call it Hispanic. It's a term that already exists. It is non-binary, right? It could be male or female, Hispanic, right? It already exists. It's already a term. Why are you making up language?
Just got to keep continuing to look for something to be offended by.
Yeah, absolutely.
A constant search. Anyways, let's get into.
I feel bad for your where you are, your position, because from what I know about Hispanic, your merit is everything with, your culture and everything, that represent you, your pride, all of those things.
A lot of machismo, a lot of family,
right?
A lot of God,
right? And honestly, and I've said this before in the past, like I really give a lot of credit to that section of the city, because it's still, even though with the violence, you can still feel that there is some sort of family connection that's still within that community. So when you have an outsider
we're all cousins.
Well, probably, and probably could fit in the same car, but
he's one of the taller ones.
Yeah, right. But to have an outsider from the Bronx, like New York City is a much bigger place with a lot more people.
That is the melting pot.
Why wouldn't you be down there when you have access to more people to help versus coming up here to just fuck up shit? I would love to know where they're getting their money from. I would love to know where this transplant is getting what is it, a guy, you say?
We'll say they.
They?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Oh, yeah. Oh.
I won't say whether it's a guy or
Soros money is deep, man. That Soros money is deep.
Allegedly.
So let's get into local news and what the county is doing to deal with the uptick in shoplifting. Did you see that they, nope, the county article there. Or has Adam Bello right in front. Monroe County Legislature passes amendments to laws for pawnbrokers.
Pawnbrokers.
They're going to put more restrictions on pawnbrokers, because everyone that's stealing from these shops, they're saying they're going to the pawn shops and selling it. So they're going to limit what a pawnbroker can buy from a single individual to 3 items.
Well, it's a small business. They have to attack it.
Yeah, right. Makes sense.
Does that make sense in terms of, do you believe that's going to help?
Absolutely not.
Right.
Wait, what solution has been presented by Monroe County within the last 4 years that you said, you know what? That was a good idea. That one works.
You know what was presented to them was, I believe it was certain items that are presented like that. What's that part of the car that people have been stealing?
The catalytic converter.
The catalytic converter. If you present a catalytic converter, you have to show the make and model of the vehicle that it came from, that you own that vehicle, or you're in possession of that vehicle. And that did pass the legislature, and then Adam Bello nixed it.
He vetoed it? He said, no, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
That's a great Bello impression.
Yeah. That's pretty good for you.
That's good.
I think it was like a certain amount of time.
One a day. One a day.
That was a little softer than normal. It was like you had 3 days to be able to get your cash. which made sense to me. I was like, all right, so if I had my own vehicle, it got crashed, whatever, the insurance company bought it. I said, you know what? I'm going to take some parts out of this. I'm going to sell it to make a little bit more money because, insurance company is not going to give you everything that's worth. Bring this part to them. Here's my, ownership of it. Oh, I got to wait 3 days for this money. I can come back. Fine, whatever. I'll come back for my few $100s. That's fine. But this is what they come up with. They want to attack the pawnbrokers. The idea to constantly attack small businesses, to hold them more accountable, yet you have done nothing to hold these youths accountable for the nonsense that they're causing in this city.
Yeah.
Not only that, nationwide, bring up the other two articles that you had before. Nationwide, this is what CNN Business claims. Stores say shoplifting is a national crisis. The numbers don't back it up. This is January 18th of 2023, the one on the left there. CNN Business is saying the numbers don't back it up. Well, let's look at the numbers. Capital One Shopping. This is their research center. They came out with shoplifting statistics. The highlight is from April 13th, 2023. We're talking, a few months later. Stores lost an estimated $86.6 billion to retail theft in 2022. Projections indicate that in 2025, retail theft may cost stores over $115 billion. Retailers lost as much as $94.5 billion in gross revenue to theft in 2021. Because what people don't realize is that, and I've had my shop broken into when I had my cell phone shops. People think, oh, they have insurance, they can cover it, yada yada. I had my cell phone stolen. Let's say, if I had 12 phones in stock, whatever it was, they each one cost $100. Let's say, that's $1,200. My deductible. Right. My deductible is freaking $500, maybe $1,000, depending on how much I want my insurance to drop. Why even claim my insurance at that time? Because then it's just going to jump up. Got it. At that point, also, your case has been broken into. The door has been broken into. The insurance jumps up. You don't have the product to sell. So that's what they mean by the loss in revenue. $94.5 billion in gross revenue they lost in 2021 because they don't have the products to sell. And it would take 3 days for me to get those phones back. So in those 3 days, I had to pay for my door to get fixed. I had to pay for the glass in my display case to get fixed. I had to order new phones. Those phones took 3 days to get in, and then I had to sell them in order to get some money back to pay back for everything I just paid for. These people don't realize what is happening in this country. How is it that they are so far removed? Like, in my eyes, they're so far removed from what's happening all around the country to sit there and say that the numbers don't add up.
Yeah, I think
can anybody really believe that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, whatever comes across
far left.
whatever comes
but
across
do they
the
really
pipeline.
believe it? Do they really believe that?
Of course they do.
But man, I can't.
Of course they believe. They have to believe it enough in order for them to push whatever the agenda is. I think how they say, create the problem so you can create the solution, right?
Right.
And I'm trying to figure out when did just the average citizen said, you know what, it's open season on theft, open season on vandalism. Like, when did the light turn on to criminals awaken? Everybody does the same thing at the same time across the country.
The majority, even local, most of the crime right now is kids.
Yeah.
It's 12, 13, 14.
Because they know they can get away with it.
But so here's my take on that. We created that too.
Oh, yeah, we did.
So you take kids from those neighborhoods to probably come from a horrible family, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the only structure those kids had in their lives was going to school every day. That was the only real structure they had in their lives.
Right.
We took that away from them for 2 years.
It wasn't
Those kids
COVID
ran the streets
because they always say, "Oh, COVID, did this," and I always correct them and say, "COVID didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
It was always politicians that made a decision that caused this.
Mm-hmm.
It had nothing to do with COVID."
Those kids ran the streets for 2 years and did what they wanted.
Sure did.
I mean, let's be honest. If we were all 14-year-old kids and there was no repercussion for us doing crazy stuff, we'd probably be doing crazy stuff.
Yeah, but I don't want to I'm not giving these kids that much credit of being this diabolical.
No.
I think a lot of them are a part of organized gangs,
Organized crime.
Yeah, it's definitely organized crime, and the criminals are the second best attorneys in the country because they know the law just as good as the lawyers and everybody else. So when they all saw that, you know what, you can get in trouble so many times and it don't matter, whatever they do, whatever they steal, however way they're initiated in these gangs, whatever they feel they have to do to kind of, build themselves some clout, they're going to do it. And then they're going to bring whatever they're supposed to bring back to there has to be a network of older gentlemen, right? That is organizing and directing traffic also.
There's still got to be consequences for their actions.
Oh no, it has to be consequences, but I don't think that we have the proper resources to dig deeper. And especially when, I had a conversation with a police officer a while back, and he talked about the point system, right? And how many times a kid can have infractions and he can be caught dead with a weapon. The police officer could have witnessed them firing it, but he can't bring him in because he doesn't have enough points on his record. He has to take him back to the family. He knows that probably won't be there.
Right.
He has to release him. So,
or parent,
right? So there's a lot of shit that's happening within our juvenile system, which Monroe County is in charge of that.
Mm-hmm.
They don't supply the proper resources within our juvenile system. We don't spend enough money within our juvenile system where we can give these kids the resources we can save them then much easier than we could save them as an adult when they're like 20 years old and 25 years old. And they just definitely don't give a fuck. They're like, they're going to do what they're going to do regardless.
Right. They get to a certain point where they have now become at that age. Now, what people also tend to forget is, remember, Monroe County released pretty much everyone from their jails when COVID started.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
They said, well, we can't let them get COVID in jail. So they let them out and said, go home, and had no follow-ups at all for them. Nothing. So they just released all these criminals into the city and said, your families should take care of you. Have a good time. What do you think was going to happen at that point? So we're talking about, people who are of age, who know the law. They know they can use these youths to do the activities, knowing full well that once they turn, 17, 18, well, their record could just be started all over again, because who can see the record from before 18?
Right. And we don't have those conversations enough. Like, we just focus on the trauma, right? Once it happens, once a kid does them, all these damn
very
kids
reactive,
again,
very
reactive to the, but we don't look at, all right, so why is this continuously happening? Why can't we, apprehend a kid that's at the age of 16 and put them in a facility where, if we know that the parents completely are not involved, and we can have us,
they're as bad as the kid,
right? But yet we can use child protective services to go into a family that is actually doing the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
Take their kids from them
because they spanked them,
right? Take their kids from them,
mm-hmm.
But yet we're not looking into the same situations for these kids, these individuals, and have a system set up to where if your ass get in trouble, if we catch your dumb ass stealing a key again, bro, you're going in this facility and you're going to go into boot camp, rehab.
You're going to be owned by the states because your parents cannot handle you.
And what we should have is some scared straight motherfuckers, some sergeant motherfuckers. You're going to learn. You wake up in the morning, you make your bed.
We're encouraging this behavior.
Yes, we are.
By everything we're allowing. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying I know how I was at a kid. I would have got my ass beat or anything like that.
Same here.
But if I knew that wasn't a consequence when I was 14, 15 years old,
right?
If that wasn't a consequence, who knows?
You're going to be afraid of somebody.
Right.
And if you can't go nowhere, if you got some big ass 6'3" motherfucker with a hat telling you need to get up, or if you don't get up, we're going to make you get up. How many days you going to keep going through this every single day, kid? One day you're going to break. One day you are going to shape up, or you're going to keep getting the same shit.
But this is what we should have done a couple years ago when it was just starting. That now it's completely out of control. We got to do something way more drastic than that to get control of this.
When I was called a racist for saying that our black leaders need to step up and get these kids off the streets, get the people off the streets who are throwing parties in the middle of the night because someone got shot, and they're saying, oh, this is the culture during COVID, and everyone was supposed to be staying at home. What was that?
The timing made it racist.
The timing made, I think it was the person that said it that made it racist. They were trying to figure out a way to come after me.
The only way our laws are changing right now are just affecting law-abiding citizens more.
That's the only people that affects.
Absolutely. A kid could shoot at 5 people right now.
They're going after the pawnbrokers.
And a misdemeanor. Let's say I got a gun in the back of my car and I forget you're having a party at a state park. I'm like, oh, I'm going to stop the hosiest party on the way home. I just committed a felony pulling in that park.
Yep.
and you would go down for it too.
100%.
Yep.
You'll be on
because
Twitter,
you wouldn't
everything.
run. You
Yeah.
wouldn't run.
No.
You wouldn't try and go,
Right,
through
'cause
the
we're
county.
law-abiding citizens.
Yeah.
That's the only thing they're adjusting these laws to go after. That's how we're making these laws more strict about. It's just after law-abiding citizens.
That's all it
These
is.
gun laws that they keep continuing to make, and they just keep getting more and more and more insane. Which, you know what? Fuck all the people on the right too, because you guys aren't doing shit. You're
They
like,
aren't.
oh, that's bullshit. They're not going to do that, and then you just sit there and do nothing, and you wonder why this happens. Why next month we got to get a background check to buy a box of ammo because you sat there like a
Right.
little bitch
Right.
and you didn't do anything about it.
Yep, they've been pretty weak.
Oh,
for
I
the
got
last
plenty of
couple
ammo.
years.
I'll go to Pennsylvania and get mine. Yeah, you're being a little bitch.
Mhm. Right.
Because if we all stood together, this shit wouldn't happen.
Exactly.
Hell, go back with COVID. The only people that was standing up and really getting these politicians out there was the grassroots Republicans. It wasn't any politician.
Right.
It was not. The people that was out
And
there
they weren't Republican
fighting-
because I was out there.
right,
protesting.
right.
It wasn't just Republicans.
You were the only one that I saw like out there like that
Every
from the
single
left.
time. I was the only one putting myself out there.
But the
Saying
main
this is going to
people-
happen. This is what's going to happen. They're going to come after your rights. They're going to lock you down. They're going to mandate the vaccine. They're going to cause you to either you're going to freaking get this or you can't work, you can't travel. The only one saying that January 2021, January 1st, 2021. And they called me anti-vaxxer. Guess what now? Not only that, they called me anti-vaxxer. I said, I'm not anti-vax. I'm literally just saying, do not coerce me to get this vaccine. That's it. And then they interviewed Dr. Mendoza, and he said, I don't know what he's talking about. This is not even a topic of conversation. We're not thinking of mandating any vaccines, yada, yada. I'm telling you, go look up those articles now. You can't even find them. They took them off the internet.
Wow, they scrubbed the nets.
But if you go to my Facebook page, you can find everything that I did back January 1st, 2021. You can see those articles because I screenshot them because I knew one day they're going to look back and say, man, Jose was right.
them receipts, man, them receipts.
Gotta keep the
boy,
receipts, right?
Gotta keep them receipts. They will get you out a lot, boy.
You brought up those feckless Republicans. Let's bring up the 8 candidates who will be on the Republican presidential debate stage tonight.
Yes, it's gonna be
Tonight.
pretty cool.
It's not going to be cool. Trump's not even going to be there.
Oh,
Yeah,
Trump's-
but Trump's with Tucker. He's doing an interview with Tucker. Nobody's watching this tonight.
But
Everybody's
it's
be
gonna.
watching
Here's
Trump and
this was
Tucker.
gonna make it cool.
What
This
did
is
you see
gonna
what
make it
happened? Before you jump into
Oh,
that,
no.
do you see what Tucker Carlson's doing with Donald Trump
cool.
tonight?
Oh yeah, I seen
They're
it on
same-
Twitter.
Yeah.
It's on Twitter. That's
They're
gonna.
coming out with their own at the same time saying, F you, Fox News. We're going to do our own interview here. Would you rather watch Trump interviewed by Tucker Carlson or would you rather go back to the other?
Well, that's like
8 there?
saying, do you want to watch a Super Bowl with like the 11th and 12th place team? I mean, why would you?
Do you want to
still
watch
wouldn't-
WNBA or
No, I still
NBA?
wouldn't mind. I still wouldn't mind watching because
I would watch. I'll watch both.
there's people on this panel that could be on a within an administration, whoever gets
Other than
elected.
Chris Christie.
Let's talk about who's out there.
What's his other dude, Pence. Pence is done.
He's done.
We got Mike Pence. We
But
got
you
Ron
wanna hear-
DeSantis.
but you want to hear the play because Pence is a turncoat. So Pence is part of the whole communist plan too. There's a bunch of Republicans on the other side that are, you might as well call him a Democrat.
Ron DeSantis is getting big money
He's and that's what's peculiar about him, right?
from donors that we should be looking
that
at.
we should be looking at, right? I heard I don't know. I think that was Trump who called him out about getting Soros money, right?
Yep.
Like
It was.
what happened with Obama, right? What happened with Obama when the housing crisis crashed? He was saying all of the right things that needed to be said.
Who?
Obama.
Okay.
But we didn't know that he was literally getting paid by the same companies he was supposed to send Eric Holder to hold accountable.
And
But
he had him in his cabinet.
And he had him in his cabinet. Citibank, Bank of America, the top
JP Morgan.
banks, JP Morgan, the top banks funded Obama. Obama was a bankster. So whatever DeSantis is saying, he could be using the same model, right? They know that
He will be. He's a politician through and through.
right, but then we would also assume that he's a puppet, just like
yeah, but
Yes.
something's definitely changed with him in the last couple of years. So
Right.
I met one of his good friends. You guys know who Elfie Oaks is? He's the largest farmer in Florida.
Okay.
And he owns it's like makes Wegmans look like Aldi's down there. It's like it's a monster grocery store. There's like 5 bars inside of it. It's actually a pretty cool place in Naples, Florida.
What's it called again?
It's called Seed to Table.
Seed to Table.
Like
Okay. I've heard of that.
Seed to Table. So Elfie Oaks owns this place. And I met him like, I don't know, a couple of years ago, 2.5 years ago, maybe at his store. And I talked to the guy for like 45 minutes, told him from Rochester, New York. He's like, oh, yeah, Wegmans. He's like, I know Danny well. We had a great conversation. I go, you're pretty good friends with DeSantis. He goes, yeah, just had dinner with him tonight. My wife and his wife, we just had dinner. So I said, what's up, man? Is he going to run for president? And he goes, nah, he won't ever run against Trump. I go, really? He goes, he's always had a dream to be president, but he won't ever run against Trump. And now suddenly he's doing
running
it.
against Trump.
So
right.
that wasn't his intention. So, I mean,
Something changed.
correct.
Well,
But
when you get the, certain people behind you, they're going to gas you up.
I think the reason and I'm just probably play a little devil's advocate here and not to speak for DeSantis. Maybe he knew what was going to happen on the left, right? Maybe he knew that, they were going to do exactly what they've been doing. Indictment, doing all this other crazy crap. And he felt that could have been his opportunity. I don't know. And I'm just only
Well,
saying
when was
that
the conversation had? When did you talk to that guy?
Probably 2.5 years ago.
Okay. So right when COVID was
Yeah.
a year in.
Yeah.
Roundabout.
And he got a lot of publicity for he had huge signs on the front of his store, like no mask. If you wear a mask, don't come in my store.
Oh, yeah. I love
He
that.
was- he was
Oh,
doing
yeah.
all kinds of stuff. like that.
I really wanted to move down to Florida. But then if DeSantis leaves, I don't want to move to Florida.
Well, I mean, there might be someone else coming up behind him. You never know. But the other people who are on the stage would be Nikki Haley, my boy Vivek Ramaswamy, who just actually, if you haven't seen, he did a interview with Bill Maher.
His name sounds like an Indian dish.
Until he just said that he would consider what did he say about Biden? He would if he was charged with something, if he was president, he would consider
Pardoning him?
pardoning him.
Why would you do that, bro?
Well, I think that at the same time, at the same time, I
Selling
can
out to
see
China
how
is you should be hung. That's treason.
I gotta see what he said there because I did not hear that.
Obama should be on trial right now for treason.
Well, I mean, we could probably put like 10 presidents up there for treason.
Well, we know right now that there is a case that is being discussed, that is not even discussed, that is currently happening with a Chinese lobbyist funneling money through a Fuji prize and paying a whole bunch of
The singing group Fuji, not the
far
film
left
company.
celebrities. And Obama administration
You're
took
never
over
gonna hear
30
about
million.
it. You're not gonna hear anything about it. It's so under wraps at this point.
No, we have heard. We know what's going on,
I
but
heard
no
about
one's
it.
talking about
Right.
it.
Yeah,
though.
we've heard about it.
Yeah,
we've
we've
heard
about it. 'Cause
one's
we're in the
talking
know.
about it, and I don't understand why. Like I totally enjoy going on to the next topic, but a lot of that shit, it's literally white noise to protect the stuff that's actually happening behind the scenes,
It's a smoke
and that's
screen.
one of them.
It's a smoke screen.
That's one of them. Obama getting 30 million from China. And then there's an interview with Hillary Clinton saying that, well, if Trump can collude with Russia, hey, China, the Democratic Party's your whore. She didn't say that, but she could have said that.
And in other words,
But we now know that was a completely made up thing. The whole
Yes,
Russian
right.
collusion and we have facts.
The
no,
smoke
there's
screen-
Democrats who still believe
Of course
it.
But
they
yes,
believe
but the
it. They
smoke screen
still
for
believe
them
it.
to take money from China.
We probably knew that years ago, but now there's real proof that
They still believe
happened.
it.
They still believe
That's
it.
that's what the crazy
Of
part
course.
is, because we have entities like CNN who refuse to say, look, we were wrong about this. Because you know what they do? They just go back and just delete the freaking article that they had, or
That's it.
they edit it and then not say nothing.
Bro, I'm going to say this again. Leonardo DiCaprio just testified in court stating money was being funneled to the Democratic
Tens
National
of millions.
Party. Tens of millions. And on record, Obama has been accused of accepting $30+ million for his 2016 presidential campaign
We
against
now
Mitt Romney.
we now have proof that Biden and his family received well over 20 million. We have
We know
legit
that
proof.
too.
So
No,
if
they say that there's no connection between Joe Biden and
there's real proof.
amount
We have
of
bank
evidence
statements. We
that they
bank
have.
statements. They have everything. We know that. So if
They have to have that smoking gun. The thing is, I know Democrats' mindset right now. You have to have that smoking gun that shows them, conclusively that this is it, because they will refuse it to the end of their freaking life just because they don't want to be proven wrong.
they're just so weak-minded. If you just tell them the same thing over and over and over and over and over,
It's the
they
same thing with
believe it.
Republicans. It's everybody.
Yeah, and that's the part of the play. That's the play, right? You the guy who was at January 6th with the Simpson character, right?
Yeah.
Simpson with the
What was his
bull.
name?
Yeah.
He knows him. Austin knows him. Come on. You know your people know him.
The guy with like the buffalo
The
hat?
horn-
The
Yeah.
buffalo hat, right?
Yeah.
Someone's gonna put it into the thing real quick.
yeah.
But go ahead. Go ahead.
But when he was talking, I forgot the gentleman he had did an interview with. And again, it could be part of the play too. Like you send somebody up there that actually will tell the truth, but will make him look like a clown.
We had a
So
dude
that
in
people will-
Rochester.
QAnon shaman.
Remember when they were flipping the cars over across from the
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
that dude was dressed the same way. Like,
Yeah.
we had one of those characters here. Like,
The QAnon shaman.
Yeah. So yeah, right. The
Shaman,
QAnon. So you
Yeah.
give him.
Thank you, Stryker, as always.
You give him these names, but then you put him up in an interview and let him like really speak some solid 100% truth about like psychology and just how psychological warfare is, put out there. And he had some very, very smart, intelligent things to say
The
about.
shaman?
Yes.
Oh, I haven't seen an article.
I'm gonna send you
him.
the interview. But anyway, he said that like some of the repetitive stuff that we see, it sends a signal to a specific
Right.
part of your brain
Yep.
to where
Yep.
it shuts off your ability to critically think. So within just all of the stuff that they just keep putting out there, and we see it repeatedly, racism
Yeah.
and all those stupid
Well-
things, then it just dumbs everybody down and they can't really think and react.
It's one of the most basic things that we learned in military intel. That if you just freaking hammer enough times, the lie becomes the truth.
Oh.
Simple as that.
well,
Here we go.
even during COVID, I mean, how many people every day? Remember, Cuomo would just come on and just talk for an hour every day at like 1 o'clock.
Oh,
Yeah, especially when his
gosh.
brother interviewed him.
And every news, everybody would just say he's doing a really good job. He's
Yeah.
doing a great
Yeah.
job. Cuomo's
Yeah.
doing a good job. He's doing a good job. And then you just talk to, especially older people, they've gotten their information from the same place their entire life.
Right.
They've read the same newspaper. They've
Mhm.
looked at the same magazines. They've watched the same news.
They won't look elsewhere.
What do they say? Like, he's doing a pretty good job. I
Yeah.
think he's just because they don't know why his numbers are the worst. Like you're putting sick people in with old people. Like
You
you're
could
killing
literally-
everybody. Like
You could ask them, why was he essentially kicked out? And they would have no idea why. They would have no idea why.
Well, they
were just
wanted him to
told
be
the
president
same
too.
thing.
Yeah.
The Democratic
He almost
Party
tried
was-
coming back.
Yeah, he was filling up too many people. He was literally grabbing them by the pussy. He was doing it, and he said, "Hey, come here, secretary."
Well, he's not on the stage tonight, but Chris Christie is. Who's voting for Chris Christie? Honestly.
Anybody with a fupa,
somebody.
For real.
anybody
For
with a
real.
fupa is fucking voting for Christie. boy.
God.
That dude right there, man.
So what would be the
Nobody's paid. Nobody's voting for him unless they're
Nobody's
getting
voting
paid.
for that.
They
Yeah.
got to be getting paid.
what would be
Or
the
on
key
crack.
points? So we got the 8 people up there who I already crossed off freaking 6 of them because there's no chance in hell that they're going to be actually running for the Republican primary.
You never know, man. You never know.
No,
who gonna
but
get bought
they're
out.
trying to get a seat. They're trying to get a seat. And Vivek has already said, even if Donald Trump Donald Trump essentially,
Bro.
we know he's going to win the Republican seat. We
Bro.
know that.
So
Even if he offered him a vice president seat, Vivek said there's 0% chance he would take it because he is not a second tier man. And Ron DeSantis said the same thing. 0% chance he would take it. He'd rather just stay in Florida.
I think.
why are they all really running? Let's be honest, because how everybody becomes so
I like
rich
Larry
when they
Elder,
campaign.
Barbara. I do
Everybody
like
gets
him.
rich.
Well, it's
And
very.
he wasn't even allowed to speak too, and I thought I think that's some bullshit.
Who wasn't allowed to speak?
Larry Elder wasn't invited
Yeah.
for the
Yeah,
the
he's
campaign
suing him.
for he should, as he should.
Did you see the
and-
Breakfast Club interview he
Yeah,
had?
I did.
I only saw parts of it. I didn't see the whole thing.
I thought it was
But
disgusting.
he made them look like idiots too.
Yeah,
Again.
and I thought it was
Who
disgusting.
watches them?
Ignorant folks.
Who still watches the Breakfast Club?
It will even listen to it. Like,
Right.
their audience is New York City, so the people that's going
It's
to
the
the
people
work,
that are transplanted to
Yes.
Rochester who still listen
and
to
then
them.
they're coming up here with that bullshit. But
Yeah.
New York City is the main people listen to the Power 105.1, and then they got that crazy ass black bitch that's up there talking crazy. Like, I don't like talk about gaslighting.
Can you
Soon
imagine
as he
me
say
saying that?
one thing, oh, I can. That's why I'm
you
here.
say that.
That's
you
why
say
I'm
that.
here.
Yeah. Austin, you say it. Go ahead.
Say what now?
Nothing. Just
Say
joking.
black bitch.
Black bitch?
There you go.
There it was.
That's
That black bitch.
Oh,
yeah, there
shit.
you go.
Well, in trouble now.
He's a far left liberal, so he's all right.
And
he'll
he's
be all
also
right.
Yeah.
black because look at
And
his
he's black.
Hey, I'm 1% Congo.
Look at that screen.
Ancestry.com
1%
told me.
Congo.
He's black. He's a black man, y'all. Don't let the voice fool you.
I used to be until I didn't vote for Biden.
Oh,
That's what it was.
But that's the thing with that Larry Elder called out.
But he did vote for Biden.
Charlemagne.
FYI.
The shit that Charlemagne, the shit that Charlemagne was doing, and he was gaslighting him the whole entire time, and he was playing dumb. He was playing dumb to the audience and make it seem as though he was being attacked by Larry Elder.
Right.
So then so here's the thing within like how a lot of black folks talk, right, and how they treat other black men and women who they consider sellouts,
right?
You know what I mean? So they make it seem as though that black people who don't align with them politically,
don't fall in line
with them politically, are the ones that don't understand racism, don't see racism, think that racism doesn't exist, have no clue what racism about.
Didn't live that life.
If you're a Republican black person, you're just an Uncle Tom.
You're just an Uncle Tom, not even understanding that story. But with Larry Elder being he's an attorney, he's an attorney, but also been on the radio for years
in California.
Right. He don't know that he was battle tested. So when he was hitting him with these questions about have you ever had a real nigga moment? Well, your real nigga moment was when Biden in your face told me if you don't vote for me, then you ain't black. To say that in your face and you didn't respond,
you didn't say nothing.
Nothing.
That's two good impressions.
And then the first thing they say, the first thing you go is,
don't gas him up.
I'm not even Democrat or Republican, and I don't subject to any party.
Yeah.
That's when you know that that's their play.
That should have spoke volumes to anyone who was listening.
They're seeing that. Exactly. Right. He's like, I never saw it that way. Bruh, you put yourself on when you have your moments. He puts himself on as like this intellectual guy, book reader.
No.
He reads all these different mini books, but all he's doing is he's perpetuating this communist Marxist ideology that's been within the African American black community for years.
Well, he's got sponsors,
but this is paying his bills. Exactly. It's
right.
Paying his bills.
He's got to pay his.
He's got sponsors. Once you get certain sponsors,
the real tap dancer, Charlemagne the God.
Are you tap dancing right now?
Tap dancing in my seat for the man.
Yeah, there you go.
I didn't hear whatever you want me to do, massa.
I didn't hear no feet tapping. There we go. Okay, nice. So those 8 are going to be attacking Trump tonight because obviously he's not there. What do you think are some of the things? What are some of the things that if you were a Republican in the debate tonight, what would you attack Trump on?
The shot. You have to go to the vaccine.
That's the only thing I can really come up with. I
mean, that's the only thing.
Well, the biggest thing.
Okay, yeah.
That's the main thing.
Not knowing who you were really surrounded around. Maybe you should have known these people that you put in place around you.
Oh, he gave him a medal. I'm not gonna let that one down.
He gave who a medal?
The Dr. freaking Fauci.
Oh, he gave Fauci a medal?
He gave him a medal.
I don't know. Maybe he was trying to keep himself alive for a little bit more.
I think he kissed his ear.
He had to keep himself alive a little bit longer.
I'm pretty sure I'm lying about that one.
I think let's just imagine if he went full like JFK $2 bill, create your own gold back bills, secret society mess. You know what I mean? What if he went that way? Probably have another assassination. Because they would, if there's anybody that has the power,
I thought it would have been Trump. I swore Trump was going to get assassinated. I swore Biden was going to.
He probably had the best chance.
Biden was just going to croak on his own.
Do you remember, like when Obama was running for the first time, and that's all they talked about? Oh my God, if he does get elected,
he's going to get it. Yeah.
We're taking all these precautions because.
Yeah. I'm thinking back on it. I'm like. That was a stupid thought. There was no way. He fell in line.
Like 97 or 98% of everything that's ever been said about Obama in the media has been positive.
Yeah.
Trump is like under 5%.
Yeah.
Like,
Obama's a race baiter. He'll go out there, switch his voice up. He'll sound like MLK when he talked to the black folks.
He was the best orator.
He wasn't even that good.
You're lying now. You can't say that.
No, bro.
You can't
say
that.
Speaker.
He was a very good speaker.
He had
a good speaker.
Come
on, dude.
He had 2 good speeches.
He's hating now. He's just hating.
Yes, we can.
Nah, dude.
Yes, we can. Right. Yes, we can. That was his main speech. Right. And then the one he gave at the DNC conference that one year. The reason why
for Hillary?
No, this was when he first came on the scene.
Okay.
Red states, blue states, purple states, green states. Man, Michael. That was his speech back then. Those are the only 2.
Allegedly.
And Michael's his wife, right?
Yeah.
That's why I put the allegedly button there.
Yeah.
I knew he was going with that one.
Yeah. But the thing about Obama was that there wasn't a black candidate that, number one, is cousins with Dick Cheney and George Bush. he had connections ever since his adopted daddy, not his adopted daddy, his pop-in-law, Mr. Sartoro, right? Like that's not act like Obama was never connected.
Allegedly.
Right. I mean, that's fine, but Obama has always been connected. This whole organic rise was.
You can't go from senator to freaking.
To be
no way. You have to be connected. So, but all that bullshit.
He was groomed, man. At the very least, you could say he was groomed.
Yes, the groom to set up what we have right now.
AOC was groomed to be in that position right now.
They didn't do a very good job.
She's still there. She won re-election.
Well, look who our president is. I mean, come on. We got a guy that can't complete a sentence.
He's still there.
He can't walk.
Pennsylvania, the guy couldn't even freaking show up to vote.
He can't not shit his pants for a half an hour.
He still won. He still won.
Right.
He still won.
So there you go.
Thanks, Austin. I didn't even have to press that one.
You ever see that meme where he's talking to Obama? He goes, guess what? He's like, I took a shit today. He's like, I took a shit when I woke up. Right? He's like, yeah. He's like, oh, good. What time did you wake up? Or whatever.
I took a shit at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, I took a shit at 8 o'clock.
I didn't get out of bed
until 9 o'clock. Right, exactly. There we go.
Fucked up that entire meme.
Wow.
Jeez, that was horrendous. Thank you for
That's why we have guests.
Appreciate your meme game there.
You know what I was talking about.
Yeah, I didn't. All right. You don't think they would attack him based on the fact that he has, I don't know, like 78 freaking charges against him going right now?
91.
He's got a
91,
great
my
lawyer.
bad. He brought up that.
All he's got to do is
I underestimated it.
put that shit into
No, what I'm saying is the people attacking him. Would you not attack that? Would you not say, yo, this dude?
No, because you're gonna lose both voters. You have to go in and be pro-Trump.
You're not gonna convince people who are pro-Trump to vote for you.
This is where the RNC kind of makes me sick, because you guys, if they take that route tonight and attack Trump,
they're destroying the party.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you're just attacking the
You don't think? No, hold on. I gotta negate that part right there, because number one, Trump is number one in the RNC.
Mhm.
You have to go after the head.
Mm-mm.
It's like going to jail. You got to punch the first guy in the face.
But what are you going to say when the majority of your base
I don't
knows
know.
that it's bullshit?
Right.
Like the Republican Party is not the Republican Party of yesterday. The Republican Party has more blue collar voters than they've ever had in their history right now.
Yeah, but they have to at some point say that Trump didn't do what he said he was going to do. And so therefore, we must vote for someone who has the ideals of what Trump said
Name a president
he had.
name a president who has.
Also understand that
Just
every
saying.
one of these indictments that Trump has, he just gets a little bit higher in the
Yes,
in the
I
polls.
fully get that.
So is that the route they want to take?
But
I
if
don't
you
think
know
so.
that he's already going to win it, so why wouldn't you attack at that
So
point?
the only opportunity, even like a DeSantis has got, is if Trump maybe does go to jail, right?
It's not DeSantis.
That's
It's going to be
what I'm
Vivek.
saying. I don't think so.
100%. I guarantee it. Watch. I guarantee you.
Put that
Want to put
smart
money on?
Indian
Want to put money on?
I will put that
You
smart
wanna put
Indian
money
on
on.
the economy all day, every day.
All right, let's put money on it.
$2 on
Go ahead.
Christie.
All right, fine. You're in.
But
if
with
you
the
want to
odds,
lose again, you want to lose another election, yeah, go
$10.
Vivek.
I got $10 on Vivek beating
I mean,
DeSantis.
I'll take
I
you up on
can't.
that.
It's like knowing the sport is rigged, and I'm not going to bet on it. I mean, the election is not.
I like
Yeah,
to
right.
How
prove
can I
people
bet on
wrong.
it,
I
right?
love to prove people wrong.
But you know what? It could be Vivek, right? And they put
It
him up
could
there
be.
like another Ross Perot. They know they're going to lose to Sleepy Joe fucking again. Like, is the point of actually winning, or is the point of, all right, yeah.
yes.
No, there's no way.
Yes. The point is winning. But you have to.
if it is
But
winning,
you have to set yourself up at the very least to then either be able to go off and do your own thing and have your own tribe that goes with you, or set you up for the next 4 years from now and say, look, you know what? I lost, but guess what? 4 years, I'm coming back again. Everything that's said about him, either he's going to prove me right or he's going to prove me wrong. If he proves me wrong, I'm coming back. If he proves me right, if he proves me right, I'm coming back. If he proves me wrong, fantastic. Good for the country.
I guess I can't even.
You're not going to beat Trump. That's what I'm saying. You're not going to beat him.
No, you're not going to.
In the
So
Republican Party, you're not going to
so
beat him. So
we
you
got-
have to attack him.
We got 8, 10, 12 people that are running for the Republican nominee, and they're okay. Some of them are better than others, but we have 0. We have one guy. Like, they won't allow anyone to run against Biden. Who in their right mind is sick? So this is where we're so far away from reality. Like, who the fuck is saying Biden's a guy?
Yeah.
Like, really?
I've talked to many Democrats, and
How about
every
RFK
single time,
Jr.? Like that maybe would be the first time I would ever vote Democrat in my life.
Democrats would never.
And what do they
So-
say? Jobs, though? They say, oh, he's got jobs. He's creating jobs.
No, I'm telling you, every single Democrat I've ever talked to, the entire time, because they were like, "Oh, you're a Trump guy," blah blah. I'm like, I've never voted for Trump. What are you talking about? All I'm saying is that my wallet was a little bit heavier with Trump in office than it was with Biden. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that I'm for him. I'm just saying there were some things that I agreed with more often than when Biden's in office. Simple as that. And so then I'll ask them, do you think that Biden is the number one person for the Democrats? And every single one has said no. I'm talking the far left. I'm talking the middle left. I'm talking the freaking conservative left. Every single one has said absolutely not.
Yeah.
And I said, why are you're still going to vote for him, aren't you? They're like, well, he's not Trump.
Oh, that's bad.
still the answer. That's still the answer. I'm telling you right now.
Well,
They still have not changed their minds. Even though the independent party or the blank voter base has increased, there's still a lot of people who will still say, I can't vote for Trump.
But Trump
And
was
RFK
right
has
about
already
everything.
said, right, absolutely.
He was
But
right.
that doesn't mean that they want him
That was
to
like,
be
doesn't
right.
matter.
That was
It,
like Confucius.
It
Like,
only proves the brainwashing MLK theory, bro. These people are completely brainwashed.
Well, the problem is RFK is not going to go independent. RFK is not going to vote. He already said it. He's like, I'm either going to be Democratic Party or I'm nothing.
Did he say it that clear?
Yes.
I'm not.
That's not nice. That's not nice. You can't do that.
that's probably the reason.
That's the
he'll
only
never-
thing that fucks me up, bro.
That's a big reason why he
That
can't
is
win.
right?
Because you
Sad.
can't sit there and have a Kennedy last name.
Bro, that's the third one.
And
You did,
bro,
like that.
like,
Your impressions are fire.
Stop gassing him up because you're going to freaking keep doing
I
it. Trying to get the
always do. I
four.
always do impressions, man. I'm good with them. Like, don't be hating.
Gas him up.
But yo, I'm saying, my man, remember how his uncle was, he won against Nixon. He looked more presidential, right? He had, the suit was lighter. You know what I mean? And
He was
Nixon
young.
He was young.
He was a
looked
Catholic
crisper.
when it was cool to be a Catholic.
Like my man JFK, no question. Like, listen, without his shirt, my man is Diesel in great shape. Like he could put Putin in the headlock.
He's 69 years old,
Right. He could put Putin
Yeah.
in the headlock right now.
I don't know. I
No,
still got
bro.
money on Putin.
Nah, I don't think so, man. I seen Putin
Dude's riding
with
a
his shirt
horse.
off. I don't
with no
give a
shirt
fuck.
on.
I seen Putin with his shirt off, and I seen RFK Jr. with his shirt off. My man will definitely put him in a headlock real quick.
I don't know.
Putin's been in
dude.
some real fights, though.
Yeah.
Still, it don't
It's Tyson
matter,
Fury.
man.
Tyson
This
Fury
dude-
is a fat
he
bastard.
washed, man.
That
RFK
bastard-
Jr.'s never been in a real fight.
Yeah, he
Like,
ain't been in a fight.
If you got loud with him in the parking lot, he probably pissed
Yo, and that's
himself.
another conspiracy, man. I don't think that they're allowing like a American heavyweight to win on purpose. They want us to see us lose across the board. That's a big thing too. Having a heavyweight champion of the world in your country is a huge deal. It's always been that
Yes.
way. It's always been that way. So now all of a sudden we can't produce some big ass dude that'll punch some. I mean, no disrespect to Fury, but he just look like some old tall, scrangly white dude that just get lucky with a couple punches. I don't see him fighting like some of the great heavyweights. Come on, bro.
Well, I mean, if freaking Bones Jones stops freaking, snorting coke,
Don't matter. Oh, Bones Jones is still that guy in UFC. No one's fucking with him.
he's still not that guy.
He is still that guy, and he's from
I
Rochester.
love the
You
guy.
can't
I
hate
know.
him,
I
man.
love
Come
the
on
guy.
now.
I wanted that guy to be I wanted him to be the poster child.
Who cares if
I-
he did a couple lines, man?
I care.
I've met John. He's a good dude.
He's a good dude.
I've been to like 18 fights.
But I want him to be great. That's the
I
thing.
know his.
I don't
cousin
care about
very
his
well.
past. I want him to be great,
He
though.
is great.
Kind of is.
He is, man.
Yeah,
You
he
follow
is.
him on anything? Like,
Yeah, I
that
follow him on
dude-
Instagram.
so the shit he's doing with like guns and crazy, like he wants to
Yeah.
be the baddest man on the planet. And
Who, Bones Jones?
Yeah.
Like
And
he's shooting
every-
guns?
mm-hmm.
Sick shit, dude.
Oh, I haven't seen him.
crazy.
Oh no, he ain't.
Crazy.
He ain't with the bullshit.
Okay.
He ain't with the bullshit.
I think most people in Rochester are not with the bullshit. I think most
No,
of
of
them are
course.
saying, you know what? I want to be a gun owner. I just have no idea how to shoot a gun, when to shoot a gun, how to operate it, how to take it apart, how to load it, how to
Man.
turn the freaking safety off. I
Ain't no-
think that there needs to be an uprising in the 2A movement in the city of Rochester. And I've said it to city council openly. I've said it into emails where people are like, what am I supposed to do? My car has been ransacked. Every freaking 2 weeks, my car gets broken into and or stolen. Yada yada. I said, get a camera and get a gun.
They ain't scared of you. They're like,
Vote
oh
Republican.
my God, Jose.
That's not gonna. Yeah.
The only way. It's the only way. Listen, if the
You
Republicans,
think that's the only way?
yes, right now
Yeah.
in this area, bro, there's so.
I have
many-
no faith in man. That's my issue. I have
Yeah,
no
that's
faith in
probably-
man.
No trust.
So therefore,
I feel
you must either fall in line with the ideals. I get it that usually for the most part, when it comes to 2A movements, it's Republicans. I'm a 2A guy and I'm a Democrat. I'm sitting here saying, as a Democrat, ex-military veteran,
you're an old school Democrat.
Yeah, I'm a
You're
traditional
not a
liberal.
Democrat. Like,
I
you're
know.
not. You're not.
Today's Democrats, obviously, same thing with RFK.
Right.
RFK is
100%. That's how, like, back in the day, I remember when I was a little kid, right?
Mm.
And I was in like first grade. And we used to do like the mock elections in school, right? We had the actual booth in there or whatever. And I was all into it or whatever. And I remember I was at my grandparents' house later that night, and my grandmother's friend stopped over, and I was like, "Oh, who'd you vote for? Who'd you vote for?" And she didn't say anything. My grandmother kind of got a little weird with me. And after she left, my grandmother was like, she's like, "You don't ask people that. That's like that."
Right.
But that's how it was back then.
Yep.
That was like a private thing. That was like me asking you when the last time you fucked your wife. Like, that was a private thing. You didn't ask that. Like, that's how serious that was. Like, I got lit up for it by my grandmother. She's like, "You don't ask that. That's rude."
Yeah.
I didn't get it. I'm like, I don't know. We just were learning about it in school, right?
Now you can ask if you're vaccinated.
Right.
No, now you need to know that before you enter this place.
The belief now is that mid-September they're going to be coming back with the mask mandates.
I hear that.
You seen that?
So that means the president should be in a fucking bubble.
Face.
The president should be in a bubble.
What's everybody saying? Everybody's like, "Oh, I'm not. Oh, I'm telling you right now, I'm not." And they're going to be the first ones to lay down and be a little bitch.
I guarantee you, I would not be the first one to lay down and be a bitch.
But what's
Austin
the majority?
will, though. He'll say it. Go, "Oh yeah," whatever your freaking voices that you do. Yeah, that right there. That'll be him.
Yeah.
As soon as they come out with the vaccine mandates and the mask, that's gonna be Austin right there. Yeah.
we might as well make that as a sound. We might as well add that.
No, thank you.
Add that
No,
to
thank you.
the list.
I'll get on it.
Yeah.
But that means if COVID comes back again, if COVID's around again, that means our president better be in a fucking bubble. And no one should be able to fucking visit that motherfucker. Because he's over the limit. He can't speak proper English. So
that might be why.
No, that motherfucker better be quarantined. Like
I can't believe Kamala Harris is not our president yet. Honestly, I swore there was 0% chance that Joe Biden was going to make it through his first.
I love when she tells the
term.
story.
Joe Biden probably has like an IQ of like 6 right now. And I think she's probably.
I think you're overestimating.
She's a little bit.
Yeah, he's an 8. He's maybe a 9.
Dude, she's
so do you think?
Bad.
All right. So if you're a conspiracy theorist, do you believe that it's going to be he's going to win again?
So
just so that Kamala Harris
from like 2001 and a conspiracy theorist
no,
in 2003 are completely. Now it means that like I'm in the reality and
not just 3.
Right.
So my thought process is what I believe is going to happen. Biden's going to win again. And then it's going to be Kamala Harris that gets put to that position finally because she's as feckless as it gets. Or
Mike Obama.
If the COVID comes, he may pass because of the new strain. And then homeboy from California comes in.
Well, that's who it'll be.
Or if he passes while Kamala is in still vice president, she can be president. And now we got a worse puppet than the other puppet. So we got another president.
Yeah, I don't wish death
Democratic
on
president
Joe Biden
for another 8 years. So then we'll be stuck another 8 years. And by that time, we'll all be, branded with, implants of.
It's already starting in Europe.
Yeah.
In Europe, they're implanting you so that you can get the CDBG, the freaking digital dollar,
the blockchain,
so that you can pay for things. And look, it's been the same way for freaking, I don't know, 30 something years, where it says it's gonna be end of the world, it's the freaking mark of the beast, yada yada.
It's here.
But this is as close as it gets.
A much faster rate.
Yeah, this is as close as it gets.
Yeah, this isn't the beginning of corruption in our government.
No.
They've been corrupt our entire lifetimes, but they're going at a very quick rate, right?
Very quick. Well, you see what's happening in Canada? They have Meta. Oh, I'm sorry. Canada is forcing any social media sites to pay if they're going to produce any news or use any news. They have to pay a fee to show the news. Well, Meta turns around. Meta is the owner of Facebook and Instagram. Turns around and says, "You know what we're going to do? We're going to go ahead and just not be in Canada." So they blocked everyone from Canada. You can't even see.
Wow, that's China.
Any Facebook news or any Instagram news.
My take on this, I think this is kind of bullshit. Because
what do you mean by bullshit?
Because Trudeau is on the exact same page as Meta. they're the same,
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Yes.
this is a smokescreen, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Just to make it look like we're now.
I'm glad you said that.
different than them. Like that's how I.
Because he's coming out and saying, "How dare you do this to our people?
Oh,
We
fine.
need
I'm
the
not buying it.
news."
I'm not buying
He
it.
doesn't want shit circulating on his bitch ass because in Canada they are not playing there, and
No.
they are exchanging information.
They're playing
they are
there.
talking.
Where they're not playing is in Ukraine. Ukraine has now blocked any media that is against
Oh shit!
that
Well,
country.
that's
That
our
current country.
intelligence blocking that.
Yeah.
That's not them. They don't even have the intelligence to block.
Where are we
anything.
not then? Honestly, where are we not? Because at some point we could sit there and say that this
Correct.
man right here, that face, I just hate that face. I'm not gonna lie. I hate
He's a
that
bitch.
face.
He is a bitch.
He is the son of Fidel Castro.
That's Castro's kid.
Yeah,
right
see,
there.
that was what you
That's
said before.
Castro's kid right there.
I don't think he's tan enough to be Fidel Castro's kid. I'm just saying.
I
Bro.
mean, all you need is just
You-
you know
you
you
get
get
it.
you a nice little white woman to
Go
help
down
clear
that-
it up a little bit.
Go
down the
that
rabbit hole.
a little bit.
Yeah.
You know,
okay?
white Canadian, he's good to go.
You can find.
Hey,
you can find.
look at that black face.
Yes.
You
Is he-
can find
is he tan
video
enough in that
of Fidel
picture?
Castro
Yeah.
holding
Good
him
job.
when he was a baby,
Ooh.
legit with his mother.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Castro beat it up.
Castro, listen,
Yeah, Castro
that's
beat
like
it up
that's like
Maybe
all
it
these,
is-
multiple
you,
times.
you know what this it's
Maybe
like
just like Canadians.
all these
Nah,
Bernie
he beat it.
Like
Sanders,
hanging out.
all these Bernie Sanders supporters back in the day. What were they doing? Like all these college kids. They were all
I was
like-
a Bernie
they were-
Sanders fan
Yeah,
back
of
in the
course,
day.
of course, right. So, but they were all like, "Oh, it's not that kind of socialism." Like, what do you? Hold on. Bernie Sanders was Fidel Castro's right-hand man in the 70s. Bernie was down in Cuba, literally speaking with him and telling people what to do. And Bernie Sanders is more responsible for turning Cuba into a socialist, now communist country than Fidel Castro was.
That guy
Not
doesn't
that
even
kind-
know. He doesn't
Not
even know
that
the difference.
kind, but
No.
not that kind of social. No, it's literally
Yeah.
the same dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same guy.
Yeah. They'll
100%.
tell you it's democratic socialism, and I'm like, what the hell does that mean?
It's different. It's not
Yeah, it's
that.
different.
It's not,
Every-
it's not that kind of
uh,
socialism, man.
He's such a far right
You just don't
Republican.
get it, dude. It's
Yeah,
not
you just don't
like
get it.
that,
Yeah.
dude. It's not far.
Yeah, just
like,
educate yourself.
dude.
Educate yourself.
Dude, Google it, bro. Google
Yeah.
it. Yeah, man.
Yeah, idiots.
Fuck, man.
That's
I voted
that,
for Biden twice, man. Who fucking cares, man? He likes people.
likes kids.
He likes kids.
He likes
Um,
kids, man.
the-
Diary QAnon, man. It's bullshit.
but the hypocrisy is glowing, obviously, because of Canada. Remember, it was the government that asked Meta to censor news that went against the narrative, and they said it's a privately held or privately owned entity. They can choose to censor if they wish, but yet here is Trudeau looking like a little bitch saying, "How dare they?" I'm sorry. Here you go.
How dare you?
How dare they censor the news here in Canada? It's like you did the exact same thing 3 years ago, 2
Right.
years ago, 1 year ago, when the freaking truckers were out there. You took people's money out of their bank accounts. You stopped people from being able to access their bank accounts. Like, who are you to say,
That's why.
how
I
dare
say-
you, Meta?
That's why I
Right.
think this is complete bullshit. They're both on the same.
It's the
team.
hypocrisy.
team,
Yeah, it's the hypocrisy for me. I want the same energy. If you're so mad at Meta for blocking the news to your Canadians today, why weren't you mad at them blocking news 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 1 year ago?
Right.
Same energy. That's gonna be the freaking motto for my life. Just show me same energy. On that Instagram page that you showed me or that we were talking about earlier with the guy or girl, whatever the hell it was, that was like, drugged out on the side of the road. People were, I told him, I'm like, this is ridiculous. Just we had it on city council. This last city council meeting that we had, it's to vote for legislation. The first 10 minutes of it was to learn about how to administer Narcan. If you have not seen what it looks like to administer Narcan, it's literally you put it in your nose and you press a button. That's it. And I said, this is ridiculous. This is what we did, blah, blah, blah. And there's people like attacking me. Oh, he doesn't care about people. He doesn't he's another politician, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, shut up.
Because you are, Jose. You are.
Because you want us to be like Portland, you want us to be like LA, you want us to be like
Absolutely.
Seattle, you want us to be like every other city that has gone the way of let drug fiends just do drugs in the middle of the street because it's
You
not going
can
to impact
pitch a tent on the
anybody.
corner.
I mean,
Jose.
those cities
Fuck
are
it.
a couple steps in front of us, but we're where they
We're
were
right
5 years
behind them.
We're where they were 4 or 5 years
We're
ago.
right
now.
behind
I
them.
mean, so not far.
But I'm the asshole for saying, you know what? I don't want to learn how to administer Narcan. And it's easy. It's a fucking button up someone's nose. It really is that easy. That's really what I was complaining about, was that it spent 10 minutes to learn about how to done. I was like, that's fucking stupid. I'm a grown ass person. I know how to freaking stick something up someone's nose and press a button.
No, you're not.
But they spent 10 minutes on that, and they ran after me saying that I don't care about human beings. And at the same time, in the back of my head, I'm like, I probably would let them die, to be honest.
Hey.
I'll give it to somebody else and say, hey, administer to this. Like, if you really care that much about this person, have at it.
Figure it out.
Because I'm not walking down Clinton Avenue looking for people who are overdosing to see whose life I can save. In my opinion, I'm telling you right now, if I decide to ever do drugs and then go out on Clinton Avenue and just like pass out with a needle in my arm, please do not administer Narcan. Please don't do it. Don't do it. Let me die. Let me die.
If I see you pop locking on Upper Falls and Clinton, I'm definitely gonna be like, yo, bro, what
Let me
the
die.
fuck is you doing?
Let me die, please. Like, I'm not trying to, like, these people are deciding for themselves the life that they want to live or don't want to live.
It, even if you don't need it.
Yeah,
Just
right,
hit it,
bro.
see what
Like,
happens.
listen, man.
You guys talking about my death over here?
What you doing, man? What's wrong with you?
Yeah, a lot of things. So conspiracy theory of the week.
There we go.
Thank you, Austin.
Sorry, you caught me off guard.
My bad. Is the moon fake?
There's a lot of debate about this.
You're
topic.
a flat earther. You can't say there's a lot of debate about
There's
this.
a lot of debate about this one.
It's either the moon is fake or not.
I mean, the moon landing was probably fake.
I said moon landing is fake.
They left the cameraman
so?
there, so just saying that definitely was fake to me. Green screen, all that shit.
Okay.
They had to beat the Russians. They felt like it.
So the Russians this past week crashed a landing on the moon.
Allegedly. Can we see the
Right.
I'm not
footage?
clicking that button. I'm not clicking that
Can we
button.
can we see the entire
Definitely.
route? Like, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure they
definitely.
they should have hooked up a camera on the rocket to show us the exact, like, show us the route, show us the whole entire travel plan. We got none but time. Listen, I want to put it on Google, stream it live.
And you know, if it was
I'll
real,
watch
they would
it
have
right
done
now.
all that.
Yes, I want to see you lead the atmosphere. I want to see everything. I want to see the whole
Every instance of
flight.
it.
Yes, I want to
I'm
see
not
the
against
beginning
that.
to the end.
I'm
Show
not
me.
against it.
Show me. I mean, listen,
They have it.
technology-
It's online.
But we've been seeing these.
Do you not see that picture? It shows the explosion on the moon. It's so real.
Yeah, bro, that
Bro,
literally
I
could be
make
on
that
the
in-
beach.
I could make that with AI in like,
You can
in like
go to
30 seconds
fucking-
with my phone. I
you
can
can
make
go
that
to
exact
any
same
beach.
thing. Come on.
It's an
In
AI
America.
picture.
Yo, I don't trust none of that shit, man. Show me the whole flight. I want to see the whole flight.
Well, India is now
Oh,
in the
shit.
game. They have now landed on the other side of the moon, the southern point of the moon.
What the fuck are they
Allegedly.
gonna do in India? What are you gonna do, Indians?
They're showcasing that they're better than Russia now.
They need to stop that shit.
Is that not a showcase? Is that not a showcase of power right there?
We back to the distractions again, folks.
100%.
They're the
what that
fourth
is.
country
Back
to
to
land
it.
on the
It's
moon.
all distraction.
Fine, it might be a distraction, but let's
Now,
go
so
down
now
the
if you were-
conspiracy
if you were-
theory.
if you were
was the
India-
race to the moon.
Now, if
Hold
you
on.
were India
Uh-huh.
and you knew Russia just made some bullshit up,
Right, right.
Oh, we just did it. Like,
Hmm.
we did it too.
we did it too. We're going to do it now. We got a rocket cheaper,
We went on the other side.
$25.99. We save, friend. Listen, I don't see this as something that's legit until I see the footage. I want to see the whole flight. I want to see the landing. Like, we should there within just
Can you find it?
the drones that we have. We
It's
should have
India.
a drone that could just fly over there, no problem. Like,
You think
what's
a
stopping it?
drone should be able to fly to
Bro,
the
they
moon?
can do whatever they want now.
Come on.
It doesn't have to be like some old rinky-dink plastic drone. It could be like a real legit drone, bro. Like some heavy-duty drone that they made.
Is that a video? Let's pull up the video here. Let's
These are
see
the
what it looks like.
same-
Let's see what it looks like. How about that? Let's see what it looks like.
It looks like a studio.
Can we? All right. Can everyone else see this without the at-home commercial? Freaking what is CNN?
that's CNN.
CNN.
I said, do we not have YouTube Premium?
I'm gonna pull it up once.
Yeah, you gotta get
that's
that.
done.
Y'all gotta get that
Everyone else.
YouTube Premium.
Help me, I'm poor. I don't have YouTube Premium.
I can't live.
Well,
on
I
that.
definitely don't have CNN Plus.
I definitely don't have that bullshit.
I'm pretty sure it's dead now, right? CNN Plus.
When you get like your fourth vax, I think you get it. For
Yeah, you get it for free.
I
Yeah.
only got the two.
It's actually injected into your bloodstream.
You get the Don Lemon
your
package.
automatic news right into your blood.
As part of the fourth booster.
All right, let's pull this some bitch up. No, that says soon in the
That motherfucker crazy too.
hold on. They're clapping, first of all.
They believe it.
Yeah, I know.
Is this
Yeah.
on the podcast and everyone else see this?
Yeah, they can see it.
Oh
That's
my
not
god!
even like I don't even think he's really waving that flag.
Yeah,
How terrible is that?
it was just the customer service folks for this. They're the ones who's answering the phone.
Is that where my leads come from right there?
Probably. How can I help you?
Wait a second, I recognize that voice. I talked to that. He works at
What did
UPS.
What did they do when they got there? Like made some curry chicken and ate it
Oh,
and came
man.
back? Like what did they do?
What do they do?
Did
What's the
it,
point?
Did it stink up space
I'm
like it did my
trying
freaking
to
barracks room?
figure out. I'm trying to figure out why India wants to go to the moon.
They don't. They just
They
want to take
don't.
credit for it.
Right?
No,
they
you know what they're
don't.
doing? I'm telling you right now. What they're
Russia
doing.
said some bullshit. Russia made
Right.
a ridiculous claim, so they're
Uh-huh.
like, "Okay, let's say we did it too."
No.
I think it's worse than that. I think that India is going to join freaking Russia and China
Well, they already did.
to shit on us
The BRICS.
publicly
Absolutely.
shit on us and say you ain't got the technology no more, NASA.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. That's a good one.
let's be realistic here. We've lost every single ally. Countries that we've never heard of are no longer our ally.
I think we have Israel.
But everybody has access to a green screen, bro. Anybody can make that shit happen.
Do you not see the?
Yo, that shit looks so fake.
It's like a
This
cartoon. man.
Bollywood, bro. Bollywood. They're gonna send Shah Rukh Khan. Y'all know who that is. They're gonna send Shah Rukh Khan up to the moon. He's gonna be the first
no
one to the
idea
moon.
who that is, dude.
That is the biggest Bollywood star in Bollywood history. He's
Was
like,
he in Slumdog Millionaire?
no,
Then he's not the biggest Bollywood
no,
star.
no. Shah Rukh Khan is the biggest.
What movie?
What movie? You've never seen this?
Then he's not the
thousands of
biggest.
movies because it's Bollywood, bro.
Yeah, you know how big India is?
No, it's huge.
That's why they got to get to the moon. They got too many people. They got to send them somewhere.
They got to send their trash somewhere. If anything,
Yo.
all their plastic.
You
building
shouldn't call their
apartments
people
up there.
trash.
Shah Rukh Khan has a song with Akon that I bet y'all, I'm sure y'all never heard of. That shit is dope though. I ain't even gonna lie. But he wasn't
I'm
the one
pretty sure
singing.
we're not allowed to even. play it here.
Listen, check this out. This was crazy about Indian movies. Every movie, the star is not the singer. But they're the ones that's getting all the credit. So it's like it's Milli Vanilli's dream to like be an Indian entertainer.
So it's like the Dictator movie where
What was that?
where he was racing. It was what's his name that played oh my god, Sacha Baron Cohen. Thank you.
No, I never seen that one.
You never seen The Dictator?
No,
It's I would say top 10 favorite movie.
The Dictator.
No,
Maybe
I've
top
never seen
15.
it
Top
either.
15.
Let me
You
look
never
it
seen
up.
it either?
See, thank you.
Oh man, Dictator.
See, me
Watch
and
it.
Austin, we be like on like a lot.
Yeah,
What do you be looking at? The Dictator, bro?
I've heard of it.
It's a porn, so only like look it up on. It's actually Dictator.
Yeah,
Oh,
DICK.
the Dictator. Oh,
I'm totally joking. That's not the actual
D-I-C-K.
spelling.
I know you're talking about. I know. I did not see that movie, but I know the movie that you are.
It's a
talking
really
about.
good movie.
Yeah, and a lot of stuff that he was saying in the movie is kind of like playing out right now. I've seen a couple
Yes.
things about that.
Yes. It's a really good movie. I certainly say you should watch it. It's probably the best Bollywood movie ever.
He's a comedian too. He's got
It's
like
from-
this
I'm
rapper.
pretty sure it's from, like, Uzbekistan or something like that.
He's like this rapper too.
Borat?
Like this.
Yeah.
Yes, this Borat guy.
Yeah, from
Yeah.
Kazakhstan.
Yeah.
What was his rapper name? Ali.
Diali G.
Yes.
Ali G.
Ali G.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that guy.
Yeah.
I know who
He's
you're
fantastic.
talking about.
Well, watch the movie.
I just didn't go as far as the Dictator.
You didn't see that one coming?
I didn't see that one.
So the other part of the conspiracy theory, science has now found that there's 3 times more water underneath the surface than in the oceans.
I believe it. I totally believe it. You look at what Muammar Gaddafi did for his people in Libya.
Mhm.
He literally created an irrigation system underneath the ground, and they hated him for it.
Well, I don't know anything about that.
Oh, they hated the shit that Gaddafi was doing. That's why he became this terrorist, because he wanted to create a gold standard for the African
I know that
nations.
part.
Right, but that was another one of them.
Allegedly.
And he also provided free education for his people, free housing for his people. Yes, it was pretty much socialism, but
I was
wasn't
gonna
the-
say, when you're
he wasn't the
bragging about
dictator that
socialism?
they say he
Oh,
was.
okay.
He was.
He wasn't aligned with the. I'm pretty sure the Clintons.
No, he wasn't.
But Bill Gates just bought all the water underneath America.
Oh, that motherfucker.
I think he bought all the water underneath the world.
That motherfucker.
He's working on it.
Yo, can somebody punch Bill Gates in the face? Like,
Why
for
don't you
real.
do it? Why don't you stop being a pussy?
No,
Stop crying
listen,
about it. Just do it.
If I see Bill
You
Gates
won't do
on
it.
site,
You will
bro,
not. You will not do
on
it.
site, he
I
getting snuffed
guarantee.
out.
I got
On
another $10.
site,
I
bro.
got another $10 saying
On
yours.
site. Listen, bet that up right now.
Yeah, all right, bet.
Because listen,
I'm gonna invite him to
and
Rochester.
I'm taking that 15 minutes of fame and I'm running with it.
You're gonna say,
Like,
what
yeah,
did
I
the five
said
fingers say to his face?
Slap bitch ass motherfucker.
You ain't gonna do it. Genesis 7:11 in the book, which is termed the Bible.
Uh-oh. Let's go, Austin.
On that day, all the springs of the great deep burst forth, and the floodgates of the heavens were opened. This explains where all the water went after the flood, does it not?
No.
Because the earth can only handle so much water,
Okay.
because then it evaporates, and then
Right.
turns into
So
clouds,
the
and
flood
then
wasn't real. That's a more recent.
oh, see now,
explanation.
you're coming from a altered state of mind there.
Oh.
A
You're just not in
non-believer.
reality,
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Go on.
because we all know the flood is real.
No.
The earth was destroyed by a flood.
No.
That's scientific fact.
Yeah, they
Nope,
keep
prove
trying
it.
to use the Sphinx too to
Science
prove
says
that.
it.
What's science? Go
Yes.
ahead.
The same
Provide
science,
the science.
the
please.
same science that says the earth was killed by fire, the earth was killed by ice, and the earth was killed by water.
He's
The
about
same
to
science
talk-
that proves
he's
the
about to
Earth
talk
was
about
flat?
dinosaurs any second. I know it.
Who, me?
Around?
Go ahead.
Wait, what about dinosaurs? Wait, you don't believe in dinosaurs?
I know. I was just thinking you're going to bring that up.
No, I wasn't going to bring it up, but
Debunk the
you're,
Bible.
wait, what are you saying about dinosaurs?
Those are
Say it.
facts. Science says
Dinosaurs?
that the
Yeah.
earth has been destroyed by 3 different natural.
So science was a
an
guy?
asteroid. Asteroid created the fire, in my
Okay.
belief. Ice was the ice age,
Yeah.
and water, the flood.
Wait, water. Where are you getting the water from?
You can't tell me that
Yes, I
science
can.
has not.
Yep, here I am.
Fine, look
I
it
just
up.
told you.
Look it up. I can't keep battling this fight here. Earth was destroyed by water at some point.
Well, I
No,
want
it
to
wasn't.
figure out how did the water, because science said that the Earth was just a big molten like lava of rock.
Who said that?
Science.
What science?
Billions of years after the Big Bang, we
Mhm.
became
That's not what
this
the Bible
big
says.
rock. Oh, the Bible.
The Bible
Oh, is
says-
that your science? Is that your
Oh,
science
My
book?
science.
Mm.
Continue what we're saying.
So,
So you're
how
saying
did the
that?
water come?
Hold on. What you're saying is that the Earth was only water and volcanoes. That's it.
No. The Earth was mainly rock and volcano.
Rock and
then-
volcano.
Yes, and then
Was-
water came after.
So Earth was without form and void.
correct.
Okay. So the
Earth
Bible
did
says
just
that.
not come from the Big Bang, and then all of a sudden,
Right.
you just got water and
Cool.
all that shit. So
Yeah.
water had to come eventually.
Mhm.
So how did it come?
That's what she said.
That's what
It comes from.
Kamala said. Don't come. Don't come.
Don't come.
Oh, and then Trump. I'm
Don't-
coming.
I'm coming.
Back to the Bible. Jeez, what the heathens over here. So the Earth created Earth, right? So did Earth come from that rock?
I don't know. God did it, bro. You tell
Fine.
me
All
how.
right, cool.
like, tell me
I
what
agree. God
Right.
said, "Let there be."
So he said, "Boom, here's the rock."
Yep.
So now, and then he said, "There's some water."
I mean, he said that, not like that.
But I'm just going
Yeah,
through
yeah.
the timeline because again,
Yep. So there's 2 ways to think about it. You can either look at it as it's exactly what it says, which is one day was this, one day was this, one day was this. Within 7 days, he created Earth and then, took a break. The other part is the, time. One day in God's time
6
is
days on the 7th day he rested.
right. Thank you.
you watch football.
Any given Sunday.
The other way to look at it is that one day is equivalent to 1,000 years. So could it have taken 1,000 years to go from volcanic eruptions and rock to an Earth that had more form and was not void?
I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out when the water and the grass and the trees came.
Well, if Earth were to come up, wouldn't water have to go down?
Bro, I don't know.
Well, that's the answer. I'm telling you the Bible. So now, now you're a believer.
I was
good
like,
now.
what the fuck?
Yeah, so hold on. When during the flood,
Mhm.
the where all the water is now, you're saying was just empty. There was just there was a hole.
no, where the flood. Are you talking about after the flood, or
Well, you're saying that this flood
Mhm.
flooded the earth, right?
it's not this flood? It's the flood,
this
not
flood.
this flood.
This
the
flood.
flood.
This flood.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Continue
With
with your heathen language. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
this flood. flooded the earth. Okay, and now that you said that all the water's now under the earth.
Yes, under the mantle.
What was under the earth during the flood?
It was prior to the flood. When the rains came, the earth opened up and the water came from underneath as well as from above.
Okay, so the earth opened up, let the water out, close back up for a bit.
Right. Continue.
Yeah. So that it would flood properly.
Well, it didn't close up. It just pushed the earth so that it covered the holes that were there.
Tell
before.
me about this God water you're speaking.
Yes, I'm telling you right now. What happened?
Was it like a earth drain somewhere?
The earth drain was once the flood was over with, and the dove was sent out and came back.
It's like on
with
the shower
the
that little switch, so that it becomes a bath, right?
Yes.
So God flicked a little of the bath switch. And then he flicked it back up so that it drained into the earth.
Yes,
salts.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Gotcha. All right. Understood.
You're welcome.
Yep. Glad we cleared that up.
Cool. Now you guys are.
It makes sense now.
You guys are all going to heaven now.
I get it now.
I'm in there now. Like I'm a believer. 1000%.
Did you not believe the Noah's Ark before?
That one's.
You're not a believer of Noah's
That's a tough
Ark?
sell, man.
Wait. So
what about yourself?
It's hard for me to say
That's so
anything
tough.
against my
This is hurting my
I come from
my heart.
I come from an Irish Catholic family. My mother, my
Yeah, so
grandmother
therefore
would
you
roll
must
over
believe.
in their grave if I said anything against it. So I'm just gonna.
Austin is all.
So that's the only way the earth can contain more water than it can contain, because the earth has a firmament above it, which you cannot create more water that's already on this earth, because space cannot create more water.
Yeah, but we destroyed the ozone with the aerosol cans back in the 80s. So
well, it says CO2, and there's another study on that one, which actually we can get into as well. Go ahead and press that button again.
Plus cow shit.
Yeah. So the people who was that guy who ran for president that then traveled around the world in private airplanes talking about
Al Gore?
Yeah, him.
Yeah, he invented the internet.
Yeah, he also invented
exactly about Jim Carrey because he's doing it too.
No,
or John Kerry.
So Al Gore was going around the world saying that CO2 caused the Earth's temperature to rise.
Al Gore, he made probably $1 billion, creating
easily,
the whole green.
Easily.
Remember, even 20 years ago, everything. If you bought something that had a green label, this has got to be nice. It's got the green.
Can you imagine a VIG on that?
Yo, what's crazy? Now that you mention that, right? Al Gore made his money for selling out the United States with global warming, right? And then George Bush made the world,
not just the United States, the world,
right. And then George Bush made his money selling out the United States from 9/11. These two people were literally at the beginning of the change of our
universe.
Planet. Yeah, forever. Those two, and we didn't even think about that. Didn't think about that at all.
That's a great way to put it.
Graduating from high school at that time, I'm like, I wasn't really paying attention to shit like that. I was like, oh shit, there's a recount. Like, damn, all of a sudden I'm paying attention to politics. Right? I'm paying attention to what's going on. Like, oh shit, Al Gore might not win.
The climate change stuff happened. It started before that. Those the ozone layer stuff.
Right, but I'm just talking about individuals.
I've seen 80s movies.
Yeah, but I'm talking about these two individuals. Yeah. Like those two,
the ones who made it popular.
Al Gore made it a
they are synonymous with those things. With Al Gore and
he invented the internet.
Right, of course, obviously.
Really keep pushing that part.
And what was the movie that he did?
An
Inconvenient Truth.
Inconvenient Truth, right? So that's his thing. And then
his thing is that the CO2 or abundance of CO2 causes the Earth's temperature to rise. Well, if you actually look at history, CO2 rising corresponding with the temperature rises faster than CO2 rising. By the time temperature drops, CO2 is finally catching up to the temperature rising, and then the graph goes down. So the science says that the reason behind that is when the Earth heats up the water, the oceans, that stays hotter longer, the oceans, because it's water, right? And it creates CO2. But then when the temperature drops, the oceans take a little bit longer to bring that temperature back down. CO2, they're saying, followed the temperature. So it wasn't CO2 creating higher temperatures. It was higher temperatures creating higher CO2 levels. So they're saying that the science behind it was faulty. They're saying they're using the what was it? Not causality, but
correlation.
Thank you. Correlation, not causality.
Gore was they were all like the first ones in the freedom of speech stuff too. His wife was what the hell was her name? Kipper Gore.
Yeah, she was
Right?
against
She was
Eminem.
the one that got all this stuff way even before.
Yeah,
that.
no,
Like back when I
that was the other
listening
one.
to Ghetto Boys when I was a kid.
That was NWO.
Right.
Before that, like
Right.
she's the one that got the explicit lyric little emblem
Mhm.
on all
Yeah,
the cassette
yeah.
tapes.
Parental advisory.
Yeah, parental
Yes,
advisory.
Yes.
Her, and what was the lady who Tupac was going at? Something Scott or something like that. Wonder why we call you bitch. Like she was going after Tupac. He wasn't with that either. That was a lot of shit.
And then Eminem was a whole nother generation of that as well.
Mm-hmm.
That was
They started that back in like the 80s.
well, we got what we asked for at this point because now we have freaking WAP
Oh,
that is,
God.
you know,
yeah, please
as dirty
bring
as it freaking
back.
gets.
Bring it back.
And then you
yo.
got freaking black men out there twerking
Yeah,
on
but-
Satan.
It's not. I mean, it's not legit.
It ain't
because-
just black men.
I've not seen a single white
They're-
person
they're-
twerking on. I've not
You
seen a
didn't
single
see Sam
male
Smith. You didn't see
twerking on Satan.
you didn't see Sam Smith.
I don't watch anything Sam Smith.
You didn't see Bad Bunny
I don't watch anything Bad Bunny.
kissing Puerto Rican dudes in Yankee Stadium. That
No,
hell
no.
should have been burning for every Puerto Rican when that happened. Bad Bunny kissing a dude in Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, that was
bro?
a white dude.
It didn't matter. It was Bad Bunny
I'm
though.
just making that up. I have no idea. But I
Bad-
do remember saying it on like it was like MTV whatever, and I saw like, what the hell just
Music Wars.
happened?
Like, yo, and I was fucking with my man Bad Bunny.
I wasn't, because I don't believe he's a terrible freaking rapper, singer, whatever he is. I don't even understand what he is.
I don't know. He got a couple bangers, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a fucking lazy sounding bastard. He sounds like he has
Yeah.
freaking
He's
something mentally wrong with him.
He's mumble rap with a Latino
yes,
twist.
exactly.
Listen, that
That's
joint,
a perfect example.
that
Yes.
joint he got with Drake is dope. You know
See-
what I'm talking about.
See,
I don't know the lyrics, but I know how it
You
sounds.
just like the hook.
I know the
That's
beat.
The hook got you.
go ahead. Go
Right,
ahead.
the
do
hook
it.
got you.
It's the same beat to every reggaeton song.
Somebody save me. Somebody save me from this.
You know the song I'm talking about.
Even went after the Twisted Sisters lyrics. Do you know the lyrics
they
here?
did.
Which one's
So
that one?
D. Snyder, a bunch of stuff. D. Snyder was
Pull it
like
up.
the singer in he was the singer in Twisted Sister back
Yes.
in the day, and they attacked. They only went after him really because he's the one that stood up against him and was like, "Oh, Skipper Gore's trying to, go after our First Amendment rights and all this kind of stuff." And yeah, that was like something big back in the day.
It's fucked up because I believe it. Like I'm all for First Amendment rights. At the same time, we can't allow our children to. But
So
that comes
that's-
back to parents.
See, I'm just listen. You should be able to say anything
Yes,
you want.
absolutely.
I said this during COVID.
Absolutely.
Like if I want to say like there's a COVID, the angel that flies through the sky and sprinkles COVID in your ear, and that's how you catch it. Like you should be allowed
should be
to
able to
say
say
that.
that.
And I should
Absolutely.
be allowed to be like, you're out of your freaking mind. You know what I mean? And but control, man, it's an ugly thing.
Yeah. It's part of the plan, bros.
It is
Part of the plan, bros.
It's been a part of the plan. For
Do you
a
have
long
any
time.
friends anymore that like would wear the mask, or have you lost all your friends?
Probably lost a lot of them, man. I had a lot of people, and so I had a group of guys, and they're all much older than me, and I rode motorcycles with them for a long time. And I went to Laconia, New Hampshire to bike week every year with these dudes for like 12, 13 years straight. And I no longer talk to these dudes. I don't know what happened. These are like dudes we'd have beers with.
They wore a
all-
mask with
they
a
all-
helmet.
No.
Oh, okay.
But they're
Let's
just,
say.
they went so far
Mhm.
down that COVID hole
Mm.
that I remember a few years back, they were like, there was like a little sidebar about me. Like, well, if he didn't get his vaccination, maybe we should not let him come with us. And I'm like, what's that got to do with you?
Yeah.
Go ahead and get it. Whatever. What's that got? Why are you upset?
Right.
I'm not getting it.
Right.
You got
Shouldn't
it.
it
You're all
protect you?
set. Right. You
Right.
got it. You got 4 of them, man. You're real good. But I just rather not associate with people like that. That's okay.
Yeah,
Are you,
you know
are you
what?
concerned with that at all?
You
Like
know,
if it were to come back around, do you think that you're surrounded by strong males and females who are going to be like, nah, we good?
I don't associate with people that are like,
Yeah, I think I'm good.
I
on
really
that front.
don't. I don't.
Man,
Straight.
I've removed every weak-minded person out of my life.
Yeah.
I remember I was fighting. It was my wife and the son who were still wearing a mask when we were walking into like Walmart one time, and I was walking in without a mask. And son looks at me. He goes, "Aren't you gonna put on a mask?" I'm like, "No, not putting on a mask." He's like, "Well, you're gonna catch COVID." I'm like, "No, I'm not gonna catch COVID." and walked straight up to him. And my wife was like, "Oh God, here we go." Like that's pretty much her entire life. Oh God, here we go, right? And walk into the place, and the guy at the front, where they're checking, people's bags and stuff like that. He like looks at us. He like stares at me. I'm like, You good with me walking in without a mask?" He's like, "I honestly don't care." I'm like, "Thank you." Just walked in. That like after that point, I'm not quite sure anyone in my family wore a mask after that point, because I was like, they really don't. At this point, they don't care.
Yeah.
I hadn't cared for freaking months at that point, but it wasn't very often that I was going out in public into a place at all. Like I wasn't going anywhere. I was good with staying home. I was good with not freaking going to Walmart, going to Home Depot, going to Lowe's, going to the big box stores that were all still open the entire time. Yet, the places that you want to go, the gym, church, that you're supposed to go in order to get your mental health right, in order to get your physical health right, but we're closed down.
Yeah, I
shut
mean,
it down.
we couldn't go to little local, small businesses, but you could go to Walmart. You could go to Wegmans.
Of course.
Any drive-through places, you weren't allowed to go to anywhere like, let's say 809 restaurants that you want to go and support. No, they were closed down. But if you want to go get a freaking, a chicken finger basket at anywhere,
Yes,
they were ready. Hey, yeah, come on in.
Popeyes giving them specials.
Yeah, it was
those Uber Eats specials.
But it's going to come back. It had to come back because your favorite guy said it's going to come back. Bill Gates said it's going to come back. There's going to be another one
With a smirk.
with a nasty smirk.
Mm-hmm.
We are literally at that point right now. There's a bunch of us out here who have seen it already, have already seen.
Gates, we've allowed Bill Gates to have more power.
Yeah.
He's the largest farm landowner.
Well, he's
in
got all
America,
that
man.
land. I'm sorry, he's got all that money.
He owns more farmland in America than anyone now.
So would you not have been against, maybe charging him a little more taxes?
Yeah, but so here's the problem. Yeah, okay.
Or closing a couple of loopholes. That's my big thing.
That's what
You don't have to charge any more taxes.
That's
Just
what
close
Democrats.
loopholes.
Democrats always go to like, oh yeah, but there's corporate greed.
Right,
Greed.
but
Man,
we
can just
allowed
have a fair election, and then
Yeah.
we'll talk about corporate greed. Like,
Do you think?
let's get our
But do you
shit-
think
And
a
don't
fair
have Bill
election?
Gates money in it either.
Do you think a fair election would have changed anything with COVID? Right.
Yes,
Yeah,
I think
You
so.
think so?
yeah.
Donald
think
Trump
so.
was president, and he allowed states to close
But
down.
I don't think.
I'm gonna say-
think he could go. I don't think with all the momentum that he was receiving from the people who were fighting during COVID within their actual states, right? This is what
He had
this is what-
9 months of COVID.
Yeah, but this is what I think exonerated Donald Trump.
There's nothing
You-
exonerates him. from
No,
this.
in
In
the
my eyes.
sense of in the overall grand scheme of what happened within COVID. You as the actual individual citizen, it is your job to take the government to court if you feel as though your civil rights were violated. So,
Right. But who's gonna compensate you for that?
bro,
Nobody.
Do you think
Nobody.
Do you think he
But that
was?
doesn't matter. This is
That
you
does
and your-
matter.
No, this is about your freedom.
No,
At the end
because
of
I
the-
was there when the small businesses were taking freaking Cuomo to court saying you can't shut us down, saying that we are in the orange zone, yet, literally one street over,
Right.
they're in the yellow zone and they're able to stay open.
Yeah, but
I
what
was
could-
there with them,
yeah,
and they
but
had to
there's
spend
nothing
all
that-
that money paying for these freaking lawyer fees, and they could not sue to say you got to pay for my lawyer fees. So all the thousands of dollars that they're out, I can't sit here and say that he was not. He should have sat there and said, you know what, we're not going to give these pharmaceutical companies full tax advantages for creating a vaccine, and then on top of that, allow them to not be sued if shit happened, if shit went downhill. He allowed that.
That's a great point. But
And on top of that, the states were closing down, cities were closing down, and then he didn't step in and say, you know what, if you close down, we're going to allow the businesses, we're going to allow the people, we're going to allow the families to sue you. And if they win, you have to pay their attorney fees. He didn't do that.
but here's the thing. Here's what I'm saying about
That's
that.
what I've wanted to see.
within the overall things that within Trump as being the president of the United States, he could say that all he wants.
Mhm.
But then the counter is the states is going to come back to the federal government saying, yes, we can do this based off of the state laws that they've been able to pass
Right.
under our noses when we're not paying attention to our state officials allowing any medical emergency
Executive order.
executive order, right? The
What I'm
states
saying,
can-
no, what I'm saying is he
But
could have
this is-
issued an executive order.
no. But this
He
is
could have.
he
it wouldn't have changed the states.
it wouldn't have changed the states.
It would have.
It would not have changed the states
If
because
you-
the states, what I'm saying, the states would have done was pushed back based off what they've already approved in their state.
They'd have to take it to the Supreme
New
Court.
York State, Massachusetts, all of the far left liberal states already had in place if there was a medical emergency. And Obama signed this shit. Obama signed it first and let this shit happen.
He did.
He allowed the states to have
He
this.
set it up to happen.
He set it up to happen. So for Trump, yes, he can come out and say all he wants, but then the state can go like, yo, we already got this approved from law. And then for us as citizens, we have to go through the Supreme Court. We are the ones that go to the Supreme Court.
Right.
And that's why you see now there are, the people who put it in, again, going back to the conspiracy part, that's why they shut down the courts, because it's harder for you to put in these Supreme Court complaints when there's a backlog of,
look at the, look at all the stuff that they turned over to the Supreme Court with all the election fraud. They refuse to even open a folder and look at it. They don't even know what it is. They refuse to even look at it. That's where I'm like, we're done. Like, we had a good run, America. It's over.
You think we're done?
I do think we're done.
So is the next election even going to count?
Probably not. Because we're not even talking about it. Like all this corruption that happened in our last election, let's be real. This isn't conspiracy bullshit anymore. No. They cheated in hundreds of different ways. We know that. Like,
well,
they did.
People would say we don't know that.
They're fools. They're the ones that are causing.
I would say they're blinded by that.
They're the ones that are causing us. Like
but this is how you got to handle it with Democrats. I mean, this is always my thing. You got to handle Democrats in a totally different way because
smack them in the fucking face.
Yeah, you wanna, but that's not how it's gonna work.
What are you thinking? The same shit.
These two are freaking don't egg each other on.
Yeah, we got to, man. Shit.
So what you need to do is say, look, there was a time when Hillary said that the vote shouldn't have counted because it was a raw election. It was
when she lost, she was a sore
the
loser.
Russians came in, they freaking this, that, and the other.
He knows he's not a legit president.
Right. So they fought him the entire first 4 years.
Dude, that's 5. You're good. Your impressions are fired.
That was again terrible. So you got to handle it with that care. You got to say, look, the last thing we want is to allow another Donald Trump to beat Joe Biden. You got to put it in that framework. Hold on. Because you're a salesman. You got to put it in the framework, put people in a framework where they're going to get emotionally charged to say, you're right. When you put them in a position of saying, look, we don't want it so that this guy over here, big, orange bastard that we don't want being a president anymore. We don't want him to be able to do what he did in 2016, which we know what, he was colluding with, this, that, and the other. So what we should do is we should make sure that there's a paper trail to say that every vote corresponds to a paper.
We're so far past that, man.
But that's what I'm saying. That's the fight that the Republicans are not having with the Democrats.
No, the Republicans are.
They're saying we need to vote against the electronic thing. I'm like, look, I get it. I'm totally for voting against the electronic.
Nobody's even talking about it. Nobody's allowed to talk about it. Let's talk about that. How come nobody
because they're framing it wrong. They're
everybody's like, oh, this Fox News is terrible. I'm like, 5 years ago, when a liberal would be like, oh, would you hear that Fox News? I'd be like, hell no, I don't watch that shit. It's way too far left for me. I've been saying that for 5 years. I don't.
You said Fox News is far too left?
5 years ago.
Okay,
absolutely. And they
disguise it very well.
They don't. They don't. If you actually pay attention, they talk about shit that nobody cares about. They're not going to talk about the election fraud.
Right.
They're going to make up some things.
Yeah.
They're going to talk about this little thing and act like they're right on it and piss a couple left people off. And really, nobody's paying it. Nobody cares.
Yeah. They're still doing it today because I'm freaking on a treadmill looking at Fox News and you got CNN over here. I'm looking at CNN. I'm like, they're actually talking about something that probably most of the people in America are really worried about. And I'm looking at Fox News and they're still talking about the Hunter Biden story, which I'm off. I get it. But
CNN started to do that a little bit too. They'll talk about some half-ass left or right stuff and act like they support it a little bit. That it doesn't really matter. You're not changing anybody's opinion. All you're doing is going, yeah, actually, CNN is pretty balanced. That's all they're doing, which is complete bullshit. Let's talk about election fraud. Like literally, that is the biggest. That's what's stopping us from ever being a free country again.
But you can't say election fraud.
Right.
Why can't you?
You can't say it. Hold on. You can't say it in terms of it benefiting the Democrats. You have to say it in terms of it impacting the Democrats. Then you get them on board with you. Really? That's what I'm saying. If you were to sit here and say that, again, I bring it back to it. We don't want another Trump win like we did in 2016. We need to make sure that we have this in line, and this in line so that if they take it to court, that there's a backup plan. So if they say this person did not vote for this, or this person is dead, or this person moved, okay, well, here's a backup trail saying that we covered our bases. If you were to put it that way,
Remember a few
Democrats
years
would be like,
back-
yeah, I get it.
Remember a few years back when the IRS like literally got busted for targeting just right-wing people and Republican people that were registered
Yeah,
Republicans. And they were
IRS.
just, they were auditing only Republic. Like, if that would have been the other way around, that still would have bothered me. Like, I'd have been like, yo, that's kind of messed up, man. Literally,
We don't live in that world anymore.
Who likes who is supporting the IRS? All of a sudden, the
Yeah,
left
that's insane.
supported
That
the
doesn't make
IRS.
sense.
Yeah, that's insane.
Like, I'm like, yo, what? But now we got them supporting pedophiles.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be real.
Allegedly.
If there was ever one thing that you thought, listen, we could all agree on this.
yeah,
You and I think a little
yeah.
differently
We
politically.
should have the
Well,
list.
you shouldn't be able to fuck kids, right?
Yeah,
dude, no.
but you're
Well,
QAnon
it
if you do
depends.
that.
It depends. Like, dude, what are we
Depends.
doing?
Well, you know what?
They will go down with the ship. It doesn't matter what their team says.
Yeah, but we're
they'll, like,
there. We're there. We already know that they're like pretty much already aligned with, hey, you know what? We know that we're there. They don't have to vote for it yet. They don't have to put it through yet. We know that they're there. So what are we doing about it?
right.
What's the actionable item?
I mean, at least we're here talking about it, trying to make other
Yeah,
people
but we
hear
can
it,
talk about it all day long. But
You're
what is
right.
the next actionable item? Should we just start, killing? What is that actual step?
Well, we might have to go back
Because
to more
that's a far
traditional measures.
step.
You know how crazy.
We might have to go back to traditional measures, firing squads.
So that sounds
That's
crazy.
a far step, right?
I
There's
mean,
got to be
What Jose
incremental
just said
steps.
sounds
Hang 'em out.
crazy, right? It does sound crazy. Oh, we were supposed to kill these people. Now, what if you went to Cuba or Venezuela right now, and you
Yeah.
went and you asked
Yeah.
somebody a question, and you were like, "Let me ask you something, man. If you knew then what you knew now, would you kill people that were thinking
to stop
way?
this from happening.
Would you kill people that said, no, we should be socialists? We should do it. Would you kill them? And they would say yes.
Yeah.
Because they will never have freedom again because they went along with
Set
that.
their throat.
So
Bye-bye.
as ridiculous as that sounds to say, oh, we're supposed to kill them. I'm not saying I'm doing that. I'm a law-abiding citizen, right?
Mm.
But that's not that ridiculous of a thought. Because if you understand what the consequences are of these actions right
Right.
now, we're never getting this stuff back.
Well, that was the main fear, though, back in World War II, when they were trying to create that bomb. They thought the United States was infiltrated by communists. And if they felt you were a communist, they were coming after you.
They were.
They would attack
Sure.
you.
Yep.
They would fight. They will
But was
find
that
you.
was that right?
It was absolutely right.
Why? Because
You're
that
protecting the republic. And it was the same. It was the same reason.
is
why,
that against their First Amendment rights?
for who
For them to say,
Well,
I don't believe in
they-
this, I believe in this.
They didn't have a constitution like us, hence why they lost freedom way before we did.
Who's
we
them?
got rid
Who are you
of.
talking about?
What country were you just talking about?
Oh,
I
it's
was talking
America.
about. I was talking about United
Oh,
States.
okay.
When they were going after
when-
people who were communists.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
They were
and
literally putting them into courts and they were literally trying them for death.
as you should, because it goes against.
But it's against the First Amendment rights.
It's not. It's when it comes to what this is what they're trying to use now. If it causes a harm for the United States government,
Mhm.
this is what they're trying to use now for people that they're calling domestic terrorists.
Yes.
Within communism, the whole entire ideology of communism, it is a counter to our republic. So I don't care if it, yes, within your freedom, right? If you are trying to persuade government change into a communist or a communism type form of government, then you are a threat to the United States. You got to go, period. You have to go. That you are, to
Awesome.
me, I think you would be violating, just
That
the
Natural
fabric of
order
the
of our country.
That defeats the entire point of the First Amendment. The First Amendment is to protect you from reprisal from your government.
Yes.
Yeah.
Within though,
It's
if
pretty
you
what the
if
entire Constitution is for.
Right. And so you're going against the Constitution's very foundation. with
that's
that.
You kind of
okay.
are.
That's okay when you are trying to protect your government from communism propaganda and
Yeah, but
the
where's that,
overthrowing
how far
of
do we
it.
go?
No.
If someone were to start burning the flag, again, I'm completely against it. But at the same time, I'm gonna sit there and say, that's your right to do that. I hate you for
Hey.
it, but
Then I guess I have dictatorish tendencies.
you're a fascist.
Oh, all day.
You're the blackface of white supremacy.
Far right.
I mean, that what you just described though, that is actual like fascism.
That is fascism.
That's
No,
all
that's
right.
like real fascism.
There you go.
That's literal.
There you
Yeah.
go. For
Uh,
and today, right now,
Uh-huh.
what we have going on right now, what is this? What is the solution to counter it? Then
That's the question.
Burn it down. Start again.
you
No.
can't burn it down.
That's
You
anarchist.
just get
in
the
them.
people out.
Well, they're
You
doing
get the
They're
people
doing it
out.
But
in
hold
Hawaii.
on, because I really don't think that's the.
That's what they're doing.
I
in
don't think
Hawaii.
that's the fight. I know, God, don't say that. Don't get us started on freaking Hawaii. I really feel as though the fight has been distorted because I really don't believe it's a left versus right issue.
No,
Because I
of
think
course
that
not.
I
They
think the left
create
has been distorted, and I think the right has been distorted to believe that that's what it is, and or the white versus black or color
Of course.
versus
Listen, that's
white.
what it's always been. It's about division. It's they
Right.
make us argue about things that we don't really even
Right.
care about.
it's
Like,
it's always
for the
been the
last-
freaking
for the last 20 years, what's been some of the biggest things in politics? Okay, gay marriage. Dude, I know the most far right people in the world. They could have cared less about it. Nobody cared about gay marriage. They didn't care. They didn't hate anybody gay. They didn't.
They weren't even
were
thinking about
yeah,
it.
Cool, whatever.
They weren't even thinking
we
about
don't
it.
care. You put this. You ram this down their throat so long. You force these people to have an opinion.
Mhm.
Gay.
Super. Super.
But
Super gay.
I think just looking at the latest comment, I think that almost proves your point in that, like, talking about burning
Stryker's on
flags,
it.
Stryker's first thought was the Legitimiqua,
or the BLM flag.
right?
Oh, I love that
Um,
flag.
Which
I'm black.
I think you're right. I think that whole thing.
You know how
is-
many
is just a
Republicans
distraction.
we've actually gained? You know how many Latino people that I talked to?
Yeah.
But they're not even.
Oh,
But they're not doing the same thing that the.
No, but I'm just talking about. So Obama got so much credit for making all these black people register to vote for the first time. All these black people never voted. This person was 58 years old. They never voted their entire life until Obama. I guarantee you, Trump got 10 times more people to vote. How many people have never voted? 40, 50, 60, 70-year-old people have never voted their entire life. And all of a sudden now they're big Trumpers and they vote.
No, they
Yeah.
voted for Biden. What are you talking about?
We voted for.
Wow.
81 million.
on paper.
81 million
On
votes.
paper. Right.
Listen, I drank the Obama Kool-Aid because I was like, yo, that dude got some nice t-shirts, man.
What color was it?
Fucking dope.
What color was the Kool-Aid?
that hope and change
Hope
shirt?
Kool-Aid?
Oh,
Grape.
that change got me. Grape. That grape drink. It wasn't
Latinos
juice.
are orange.
It was
So, I mean,
drink. That orange drink. That's what we got.
purple drink.
The
purple drink.
No, that purple drink's delicious.
a couple of grape sodas.
That's that good stuff right there.
Well, it's been a great conversation. Look at that. How easily we hit 2 hours
Right.
without even thinking about it.
kept. We usually keep
What's going on with the world, though, man? We're talking about here, and we're literally going into World War III right now. This is terrifying.
Do you not think that we are already in it? Because World War III will not be fought with guns. I really don't believe that. I really don't think it's going to be drones. It's not going to be warfare. It's not going to be these UFOs. It's not going to be that. It's going to be.
It's gonna be
biggest
karate
factor.
because we're gonna be fighting a bunch of Chinese dudes storming.
That's
honestly,
so racist.
Kung fu. Let's go. Their 4-year-olds gonna be whooping the shit out of our 4-year-olds. They've been fighting ever since they were coming out the womb, boy.
definitely going to be better at math, but I don't
Oh,
know about it.
bro!
For
Listen,
real.
I seen this video. This
With their
little
abacus.
look like a 2-year-old still in diapers doing like handspring after handspring.
I seen that in the ghetto the other day.
Yo, nah, man.
No, it's a crackhead.
We ain't skilled like that. Pissy mattresses don't pop
our,
the same.
our Space Force will probably be the greatest thing that we use for our military against this next war.
Oh, they did it in Mali.
Do you not think that's a complete? I think that's like one of the biggest conspiracy theories ever. I don't think the Space Force exists other than to destroy other countries by lasers,
Yeah.
by
direct energy
Space
weapons?
Force, let me tell you something. So my son's active duty in the Air Force, right? He's stationed at Beale Air Force Base right now in California. Space Force is real, man. There's a lot of Space Force people there. There isn't a single person in the Space Force that doesn't have top secret military clearance.
Right, of course.
Every single person.
You have to.
That's where all the intelligence is.
Mm.
How do you think China's going to fight us?
We
They're
got
not
pretty
gonna
big
send-
intelligence here.
Yeah, but not
Yeah,
like,
here in this podcast.
Well, yes, but
Continue.
they're not going to. We'll never have a boots on the ground war.
No,
with
hell no.
China. What would China do to us? First of all,
Destroy us.
let's talk about the first 2 days of our administration right now. What did they do? They gave up our entire access to our entire power grid. In the first 2 days that Obama was in office, he gave China full access to our power grid.
Mm.
Why? That should have terrified everybody.
It's part of his contract.
So let
payment.
me just say this. That's
How?
what
Wait,
China's
hold
gonna
on.
do.
How did he do that?
Because there was a bill that Trump put into place that wouldn't allow them to access it, and he waved that away. And then they could access our power grid, and they had access to it for 90 days.
You know what else he did? He took out the word woman.
Obama?
No, Biden. Because you're saying Biden. You said Obama, but I think you meant
said
Biden.
I in the first in the beginning of his administration, of Biden's
Gotcha.
administration. Yeah.
Yep. He also took out the word woman.
Mm.
It's birthing
So-
person.
what are they going to do? They're going to attack our power. Can you imagine the chaos here? If they shut our power,
They already
off
have. They
for
did it.
1
I think it was Auburn or
What's
something like that.
happening everywhere?
Yeah.
People couldn't survive without Wi-Fi for 2 days. They would go berserk.
What do you think is
kill
going to
each
happen with
other.
the smart meters?
There's something to that for sure.
I talked about it on Nextdoor app, and freaking some people went absolutely berserk, and the other people were like, damn, that makes sense. Like a lot of people were like, damn, that makes sense. Like, can you provide me any kind of like, evidence for this? And I didn't say like you should not get this. What I said was, hey, RG&E's coming around to switch up your meters to smart meters. I'm not going to let them do this and I'm willing to spend the extra $13, but I'm completely against spending the extra $13. But I'm against it because I have heard of things happening in other states and other countries where, and we talked about it on the podcast, where they have controlled the electricity coming into the house or the gas coming into the house.
Sure.
They've controlled it. And it's really been electricity because what they're pushing us towards is all electricity. They don't want any gas at all. And we know that. That's very perfectly clear. And here in New York, that they want to get rid of gas stoves, gas furnaces, everything, gas cars.
Water
they want
heaters.
electric everything. Right. Exactly.
It's already against the law to heat your house with wood. They made that law like 2 years ago, and
Assholes.
everybody's like, "Oh, they're not going to do it."
And collect water. You're not allowed to collect water either.
Right.
Rainwater.
That Hochul.
Yeah. So it was before Hope. But
No, she's the one who signed it though.
I think it was extended or something like that with her.
No,
talking about
I think
which
she
one?
the one that ushered in the no, it's the gas stoves.
The gas stoves,
New houses can only get electric stoves installed.
Starting in 2025.
That's fucking
It's
crazy.
already done. It's passed. Like,
Right. And we have
the wood
grants.
thing is passed too. Do you know, like in the northern part of like real upstate New York and like the Adirondack, that's how everyone heats their home.
Yeah.
There's areas they don't.
As they should.
There's thousands of people that don't even have electricity. That's how they.
As they
You're
should.
telling them it's illegal now.
Yeah.
You don't even provide electric in these areas.
I love the smell of burnt wood. Pause. I said pause. That doesn't count. Once I say pause, it's over. You
No.
can't even go to the button.
It still counts.
Nah, man.
But you're absolutely right. The fact that they're trying to stop you from being able to go off grid.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. They're trying to stop you from that, because if you were to switch everything from, natural gas to propane.
If everything was electric, think about during COVID. If they just didn't want you to drive anymore, they're going to just shut your car off. They flip a switch, and now
They're
going to
think you're a conspiracy theorist. They
anything.
literally told me, I sent that picture to you. I posted on Nextdoor. I swear to you, it was for days. My entire feed was people commenting on it, going after me, trying to say whatever. But a lot of people were like, this sounds legit. A lot of people were just essentially what they were saying was, this sounds legit. The fact that they want to put smart meters there.
People that can't think for themselves. And I mean, listen, you could say something I disagree with. And if I don't know anything about it, I'm not going to probably say anything until I learn a little bit. And then once I figure it out, I'm like, nah, man, you're out of your mind. Right. Or I'm going to be like, you know what? I see what you're saying. One of the two.
I told him, one of the things I told him was that we talked about it on a podcast about, it was England, that they were shutting off, not just shutting off people's electricity, but, cutting it back during certain times. And I was like, the fact of the matter is that episode got blocked. It got censored. It's one of the few. Actually, we have how many right now? 95 episodes? What episode are we on today? Do we know?
Give me a second.
We're going to hit 100 episodes next month. We're going to have to throw a party.
time.
FYI, everyone out there.
Hey, we're going to get some of that Edna pork chops?
Well, he didn't cook for us. So, I mean, there's that.
I was waiting on you.
Yeah. Okay. So I talked about it.
This is 95.
This is 95. Exactly. I talked about how that episode got censored. We've had probably 5 episodes censored on YouTube where they just blocked it out and said it goes against our standards. And the guy was like, well, obviously if it got censored, then you said something that was, misinformation. And I said, if you believe that at this point, where do you live in your mind? Honestly, there's people that still believe it. If you got censored, that's because you're spreading disinformation. I said,
they still think the Facebook fact checkers are real. I mean, if the Facebook fact checker checked you and said it was, then you know it was really true.
Once they check you, it's a wrap. It's true. This shit's like it's golden.
Is that an automatic? But is that an automatic for certain
bank.
people? Because it feel like certain people automatically say, well,
well, those
there's
are
a reason
they
for
know that's the audience they know that believes
it's an immediate.
I mean, fact checkers fact checked it, so it has to be a conspiracy theory. And I don't know. I need more evidence.
Any more evidence?
I need more evidence, man.
Show me the number. Show me that.
Far left.
Send me the link.
Yeah,
Send me
the link.
Send me the link, so I can. I mean, just look at the headline. It clearly says right there.
But some people were like, "Hey, do you have any information? Like, send me information." I looked up the same exact things that I pulled up on the podcast that day, and they're gone again.
That's the problem.
Gone.
Like, there is no like, oh, I just Googled it. Google, like, really?
Can't do that no more.
Google for
You
the
really
last
can't Google
30
anymore.
years has been like probably the largest invasion of privacy in the history of the
God.
world. Like,
And again, when our kids went to online learning, what account did they have to create?
of course,
Google,
Google owns your child.
Zoom,
Owns them.
Everybody.
We've just sold ourselves to Google so quickly.
Yeah.
yeah, well,
Shit. So
but where we're at now, I mean, we give Ukraine more money than we give our own military, man.
Or Maui.
That's the scary.
Yeah,
Well,
or
yeah, of
Maui,
course,
yeah.
our own country, anything.
You know what the FEMA, the guys that are working for FEMA in Maui, we gave the Maui residents $700, right, to help them during their time of need. The FEMA workers are staying in hotels that cost $1,000 plus per night.
as they should, because fuck it, they're gangsters. Gangster.
$1,000 plus per night. They're staying in those hotels.
Mm-hmm.
We're so
Same.
ass backwards right now. But again, it comes back to what are we gonna do about it?
We're being so we talk about this war with China, which we are in a war with China. We are in a war
absolutely,
right
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Like,
We were in it with Trump, but he at least fought back and said, "We're gonna put some tariffs on you."
they yeah, it was a little
China.
different then.
China.
Is it number 5 for him or something?
It's a good one.
It's
It's
trying
good
to,
too. Six.
trying to keep him
Six,
going.
actually.
You guys use
He's
a
just
hand.
hating.
China.
It's 6, bro.
China.
He's saying 5. It was 6.
Yeah, I'm underestimating him.
He's a hater.
I am a hater.
All day.
Like the border, man. How many Chinese people are coming across the Mexican border right now? Nobody wants to talk about
There's
that.
a bunch of them. Yeah.
Why?
The soldiers are coming
Why?
You saw we got
Why?
another
Why?
55 that came into Rochester today.
It's crazy.
in. Yeah.
Listen, so everybody,
We got money for them. We got money
now-
for people in our own city that need help.
so the Democrats are looking at it like this, like these poor people. It's like this poor woman and her children are trying to escape and they're just looking for asylum. No, every country in the world has literally emptied their prisons, emptied their mental asylums, and it's like imagine if
Why
we
wouldn't
could do
you?
that.
Why wouldn't you?
100% right.
Why
Imagine
wouldn't
if
you?
we could do that? Like,
Right.
yo, Canada's willing to take all of our prisoners. They're willing to take all of our mental. Imagine the money we'll save, all of our taxes.
And they're
will
not
go
going to
down
ask
by-
any questions. They're going to say,
That's
"What's
it.
your name and
They're
where
going
you
to bring
from?"
them in and they're going to keep them there.
Right. My name is Joe Schmo. I'm
That's
from
what
freaking.
the world has done with our
Yeah.
border. They have literally gotten rid of the worst people on the planet and let them come here. And here we are. Yeah, no, it's real.
Yeah, I look. I'm not doubting it whatsoever because if I were in another country, that's exactly what I would do.
They've done it.
I would send them to the American border and say,
And
Get the fuck outta
they
here.
Stopped us from seeing that for the first few months of this administration, but they wouldn't let anybody get within 100 miles.
well, they
even without
recategorize
video.
it. They recategorize it. They're not
Yeah.
freaking, border jumpers. They're not illegal aliens. They're asylum seekers. And I said, what makes them asylum seekers? Well, they came here. Okay, they came here illegally. What makes them asylum seekers? What makes them asylum? Where did they come from? What are their
You can
names?
still come
What
here
did they
legally.
escape
You
from?
can still come here. Nobody's saying nobody can come here. I mean,
Come the right way.
that's what Trump said in the beginning, and he was a
That's what she
racist for
said.
that. You know what I mean? That's what
He said, "Come in me the right way, and you good to go." That's what America said.
I thought we were finishing the border. That's what Biden was doing, because that was a controversial thing that he was like, oh, we're going to have to go ahead and finish the border. Where are we on that one?
Yeah,
We're still
finishing
waking
it.
up.
We're finishing the country is what we're doing.
Yeah. Ay, ay, ay. Again, I always come back to, okay, what are we going to do about it? What are we going to do about it?
Until we start to address these real things that are happening and talk about what's going on with our election, and let's educate people what's really going on that border, because probably half of this country right now thinks it's just some poor lady carrying her babies across the water and she hasn't eaten in 2 weeks. And
It's not the drug lords that came across and then set up shop
Anybody-
in California that now they just took over and
Any-
squatted on land and
and-
said, we're going to grow our own
Right.
weed here. And we're going to sell our own shit and we're going to do whatever fuck we want.
anyone that knows somebody that's died from fentanyl or anything like that, this should be a major concern to you, because that's
Should
where it's
be.
all coming from.
Should be.
They're literally just putting it there and sending it into this country. That's where it's all coming from.
Allegedly. Shit's gay.
The Democratic shit in them. They just-
I got president. YouTube's going to block
We'll get
another
blocked.
episode
We'll
if
get
we don't freaking put that. But-
If I keep saying gay a lot, we'll probably get blocked because
might get
for
might
homophobes.
get sponsored.
You
We
Yeah.
might get sponsored.
Might
We
get
should get
sponsored.
sponsored by super gay entity.
and black,
Oh,
dude. We're
man.
good.
And we done gave
Yeah, you two are very good.
We showed so much love to gay folks, man. Like,
Yeah, we have Austin as our producer.
Hey now.
awesome.
You-
Listen.
Not that there's anything
Yeah, I know
wrong with
what I
that.
want.
Not gay. Just
Listen, awesome. You know what I want?
Gay means happy. Right. Austin, you're
Yeah.
not happy?
And I no.
Oh, okay. Well, you are a liberal, so that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, good job with that sign there.
Oh, it's great, right? I use it.
Striker, good job. I don't think there was any F-bombs actually.
No,
tonight.
it was a couple.
Oh,
Oh, is there?
I
you were
was
paying
about
attention?
Maybe we had like 7.
7 or 8. Okay, that's one every,
Improving, man. Yeah.
one every 10 minutes. That's all right.
I was at the fuck rehab the other day.
We're at episode 95 tonight. The episode 100, we're going to be throwing a big party. We're not going to tell Tom about it.
Oh, all right.
We're just going to throw it here probably.
Sure.
It is the same week as my birthday. September 25th is my birthday. September 27th is supposed to be the
Mine's the 22nd, man. We're
Oh,
a couple
yeah?
days apart.
my best freaking man at my wedding. His birthday is 27th or 22nd as well.
Yeah. I mean, you're a lot older than me, but
No, I'm not.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I appreciate everyone out there joining us as usual. I'm pointing at the TV that I'm looking at here. Everyone out there joining us as usual. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for all the love that
Yes,
you've
Striker,
shown.
one show at a time. I'm improving.
Good job. He's ready to go to roar with that freaking music playing right there, though.
Hey, it's your birthday coming up.
Ruining it for everybody. Todd, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate everything
yeah,
that
man, it was
you're
a pleasure.
always seeing you around, being a freaking Charlatarian, fellow Charlatarian. That's my boy over there. So he's in my neighborhood, and we be taking places over.
Yeah, we're
So
all
if you see
neighbors.
us,
Turn it up.
so September 22nd to the 24th, I'll be throwing a birthday party for myself. You can definitely join in since it's your birthday too. Do you got
Yeah.
anything planned?
That I know of yet.
I got
What you do now?
I got a bar crawl on the 23rd if you want to join in.
Let's do it.
I might just be doing like a kickball night or something like that on Friday night. We'll see. I don't know. I want to
Damn,
try and do
man.
something family night, but we're gonna do a
Kicking the
brunch
balls.
on Sunday as well. I don't know. I feel like doing a whole weekend thing this year.
Do it.
Why not?
My party lasts
Hey,
for a
you're
full week.
Yeah, you had a good
I had a pretty
birthday.
good time.
Oh, it's your 50th. You got to go big, you know?
Stop it.
Enjoy it.
Not there yet. 42. I'm gonna be hitting the Robinson era right here.
You young buck.
Yeah, that's right. Austin, hit that funky music.